You're watching Poindexter Lounge. You already know. You're watching Poindexter Lounge for the unity.
Nicotina's mom! Oh yeah! Nicotina's mom!
Poindexter, you're getting all excited.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Vet, and it is good to have each and every one of you with me in the lounge tonight. Now, look, if this is your first time to the lounge, just know that the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and my crew can get together and talk about all the things that we love, things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, and so much more. And if those are things that get you going in the morning, if those are things that get you up on an Easter morning and excited for the things that are coming in the world of pop culture and entertainment, then hey, you have found the right place. So welcome. Cheers to you. Glad you're around. You know, pick up a beverage of your choice and have a seat. Let's talk. Let's have a good time tonight. Let's talk about stuff that's in the news and stuff that's going on. And what I love about the lounge is you never know where things are going to go. You never know who's going to show up on the lounge. You never know who's going to pop in and where the conversations are going. Usually we start off with some ideas of what we're going to do, and we got a plan. And then usually Matt Jarbo like pops in and like derails the entire thing. Nah, I'm just kidding. I love having him on for sure. But you guys know what's up. So just glad that you are all here. So if this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you know when we put out new videos, when we keep doing this stuff, because we're doing this stuff for you and with you. And we're grateful to have you on. Now, before we get started, I do want to shout out to all of our members and our Patreon supporters. We had a great members stream on yesterday, and it was a lot of fun, and people came in. We talked about all kinds of nerd stuff, and we also had a Patreon stream, and there was less people on the patron stream, but it was still a great conversation. For those of you who might want to know, William was there, and William just shared lots of cool stuff with us. William is always amazing anytime he's on the show, and so we're grateful to him. He came in and just shared some more of his wisdom and his takes on stuff, and so that was a lot of fun. So shout out to all of our members. Remember, you too can be a member of. Remember, you can be a member. And I'm sure Saggy Melons is in the back right now going, I remember. Oh yeah, do you remember being a member? You should. And if you don't, you should be a member. And all you got to do is go ahead and sign up to be a member, and you get all kinds of cool stuff like behind the scene videos when we put them out. And then also you get cool emoticons, stuff that you can use during live streams like this, and all kinds of other stuff. Plus a monthly member stream that I'm trying. I really like to stretch it out to 2 per month, and so we'll see if we can do that. But also our patrons, you guys are fantastic. Thank you for all your support. And if you look down there at the bottom left, you got Anthony Beltray, who is our latest patron. Thank you so much, Anthony, for becoming part of the Patreon and for supporting the Poindexter Lounge. We're so glad to have you here and glad to have you as part of our nerd family. That being said, I want to see who is here tonight, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Speaking of Anthony, Anthony was right off the bat. Look at there. Welcome, Anthony. Number 1 comment there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Welcome, Anthony. Welcome, Caleb. Yes, happy Easter to you as well. I hope you all had a good one. What's up, the Richard? Good to see you. Aloha to all of you. Aloha to you. Neon Sci-Fi says, "Hey Nash, hope everyone had a happy Easter." We did. We just had a blast today. Tiffany and I'm going to share some stuff with you guys that we got today. Actually did a little shopping today, had a little bit of fun, spent some time together, and I like sharing that stuff with you guys. What's up, Mary? What's up? Good to see you. Runs with Caesars. I love that. I always love that name. It says, "I wonder if Nash can go the entire stream without mentioning Justice League or the Snyderverse." I probably could. It won't be this stream. It won't be this stream. But yeah, because we got some stuff to talk about that. But yes, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of hard. What's up, Tifftastic in here? Yes, we watched Godzilla versus Kong, and I will give you my take on that during the stream. Bradley, what's good, man? Good to see you. Yes, we had an amazing day. Says, "Don't get me wrong, I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. I just don't think Nash can not talk about it for one stream." Hey man, you know what? After you work on this stuff for 4 years and you go to bat, and you know what? It's just a thing of it's just where we are right now. You know, it's definitely the hot topic that's going on right now, and still is. I mean, with the Restore the Snyderverse campaign going on and what's behind that, and you know, everybody trying to come together again for something new, you know. So yeah, for sure. Sean C says, "I'm relatively new to the channel and just wanted to thank you all for the entertainment. I'm currently watching The Wonder Years, and it's gotten to the point where I schedule my watches around the stream." Wow, Sean, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Hey, anytime I can beat out Fred Savage, that's a good day. Growing up, I would have never thought that that would happen. So thanks a lot. Yeah, and Sean C, you're absolutely right. There was a trending event today. Look, Zack Snyder's Justice League. We'll talk about this a little bit too, because Zack Snyder's Justice League has trended every day. Like, it's not going away. Restore the Snyderverse trends every day, and we're going to talk about what that means and you know, how we can come together. You know, it's just a thing of it's something I'm very passionate about right now, and have been for the last 4 years. I was passionate about seeing the movie for the first time, and I'm passionate now that the movie is out, and I'm still introducing new friends to the movie every day. And so yeah, so yep, we're gonna keep talking about it for a while at least. Music Man, good to see you. The Yendor 24, good to see you as well. Black Ops, good to see you. Let's see. Zentech. Hey, Zentech. I don't know if you're around, man, but you know what? If you are, give me just a minute, and I will send you a link, because I haven't talked to you in a while, and I would love to have you on the panel tonight, actually. So, what's up, Andrew Christie? Good to see you. You know what's cool and fun is to see so many of you here in the stream. Caleb, good to see you. Bradley again. Saggy Melons, she's going to be on. Oh, you know what? It just you gotta love StreamYard. StreamYard just like starts jumping everything all over the place. Richard Gilbert, good to see you. Tizai, good to see you. Let's see. Josh, good to see you. And Ryan Hartwell in the building tonight. Okai or Oki, good to see you. Absolutely. What's up, Enosh? Hashtag us united. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Absolutely. Neon Sci-Fi in the house. Man had to take a power nap before the stream. Yeah, me too. Yes, Josh is already on for Army of the Dead. Let's see. Let's see. Ken Kitts. I know who Ken is. Tell you what, you tell Andre to reach out to me. How about that? You tell Andre to reach out to me, Ken. All right. I know who Andre is. And you tell Andre to reach out to me. That comment I'm not so sure about. But you tell Andre to reach out to me if he would like to be on the show. and we can talk. What's up? Hey, what's up, Truth 31? Hey, man, if you're free, I'd love to have you on here as well. I love the Truth 31. Go subscribe to his channel for sure. Always love having fun on his channel and with what he does. So, yes, thank you so much, Truth. Hit that like button, everybody, and happy Easter to you as well. Peter Rabbit's Defender up in here. Yo, 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 Enosh. Good to see you. Hey, the Gold Man. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, Gold Man? Good to see you, brother. Look, I got some Star Wars toys. We can show you here in just a second. I'm going to show you guys some toys that I picked up today. And so, absolutely. What's up, Donatello? Good to see you. Ozymandias, good to see you. Vikram, good to see you. And nice. Nice. What's up, Outlaw Ethan? Ethan Shiraya? Or Shira. Ethan Shira. Good to see you. For sure. Happy Easter to you. What's up, Barcy? Always good to see you. And TWK, absolutely good to see you all. And hey, Keely Chow, good to see you as well. All right. Well, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to bring in my good friend. Hey, there's H. Bartz. What's up, H. Bartz? Good to see you, brother. Always good to see you, man. Tonight's show is going to be quality. Good quality. If you don't know that joke, go back and watch a couple streams ago. But absolutely. Here's Tiff-tastic. She's not on the show tonight, but she says we did ours through GameStop. Well, we could put a little down, and I can budget and pay for it before they're all out. Meaning those Zack Snyder's Justice League pop Funko figures. Absolutely. Hey, good to see you. Obiodun, good to see you. All right, I'm gonna bring in my good friend Saggy Melons. What's going on, Saggy?
My goodness, why didn't you put any air holes back there? I couldn't breathe. Oh my God,
Well, you know.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'll have to figure something out. I'll figure
air
something
holes. What? You couldn't have put any. Oh, I was dying back there, guys. He said, "Wait back there. I'm gonna do this," and I'm sitting there, and I was like, "Why can't I breathe?" I look. There's no air holes anywhere back there. Lord, you could have at least put a doggy dish down for me or something.
Oh, doggy dish? Heck no. No.
God.
We're gonna feed you well. Don't worry.
Jeez.
We got catering coming in. Saggy.
I hope so. Holy moly! Nash,
yeah.
how you doing though? But besides,
I'm doing swell.
Good. Besides leaving me back there without air holes, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's been a fun day. I've had a great day. How about yourself?
Good. How's your Easter?
My Easter was awesome. We had a really good time. Like I said, we watched Godzilla versus Kong. We went to GameStop, picked some stuff up. I had some stuff come in this weekend, some toys. We'll go a little Star Wars action for everybody here right off the bat. Check out what I got.
Ooh.
I got Black Series Asajj Ventress. Got this whole wave in the mail today or yesterday. Gotta love that.
I know who that is.
That's awesome. I'm glad.
Yeah, I think I see. Wasn't she in Clone Wars, the animated show? Yes. Okay, I do recognize. Okay.
Yep. So
I'm not hip.
There you go. And I got some Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. Why does that look familiar?
She's from Mandalorian.
And
she was also in Clone Wars. She was originally in Clone Wars, but now she just did live action, played by Katie Sackhoff.
Oh.
Heck yeah. That's some.
All right, that's cool. I know some Star Wars guys. I'm kind of hip.
There you go. Tizai says, tisk Yinash, not how to treat a lady. What she's not telling you is actually there's a large couch back there with all kinds of stuff. I even picked out the brown M&Ms for you, and she's just messing around. We actually,
but no air holes. Couch and some treats, but no air holes.
It's a big room. I thought there was plenty of oxygen back there for you.
No, I take up a lot of room.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we got this really cool Elite Squad Trooper from the Bad Batch from the upcoming
show. Looks kind of shiny.
He is a little shiny, actually.
Yeah, he's a little shiny.
Yeah,
What's it? Is that plastic?
Oh yeah. It's plastic.
Shiny plastic.
Heck yeah. Don't worry, Tiff. They're coming. This was all in the box of because I ordered the entire set and then I had to order Tiffany's separate. So yeah, so there's that one, and then I got some Bad Batch figures from the new cartoon. It's coming out. So these are the ones that were in that set.
Ooh.
So yeah, so we got who do we got here? Crosshair and Hunter. So there you go. Got those guys.
I feel like I'm supposed to be more excited than I am because I'm not really big into Star Wars. I'm gonna just fake it for. Oh my god, that's so awesome, Enosh.
Do you like GI Joe?
I actually do like GI Joe. Well, I used to love GI Joes.
I also got this. Check this out. This is like old school.
What the
heck? It's a book on record. It's a book and record set from Superman. This is like from 1978. Look how cool that is.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's back in the day when you could they had these sets, and it's got a comic built right into it that you can read the comic and the story that's on the record.
Ooh.
Yeah, and look, it's got the record and everything in there.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then it's funny because if you look on here, they've got like other ones that you can get is like the $6 Million Man. There's another Superman one, a Wonder Woman one, and Kojak and Star Trek. So
that's
it goes
actually
back a
pretty
little ways.
cool.
It
It reminds me of when Disney used to come out with those little kids books for the like movies like The Lion King. You have the little tape that plays with it.
Same company, Peter Pan. Yep.
Ooh, okay.
Peter Pan company. You can see right there.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's
yeah, the ones you were talking about, like those were the little books and everything. And I used to, have a lot of those too. I had the Fox and the Hound, which always scared me. The part where Todd gets left in the game preserve in the rain and everything. The music was so intense when I was like 5. It like scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I got that stuff, and let's see. Oh, and then I got this GI Joe classified Cobra Commander from the classified series, the Snake Supreme Cobra Commander. And so so check this out. So this comes off like that. Yeah, so it's got the sleeve, and it's all die cut and everything.
Ooh.
And then you got this.
Oh, does it open?
Oh, check it out.
Oh.
Dun dun dun. Cobra Commander looking all regal and everything. He's got to
do the voice.
Cobra!
That looks so
Cobra,
cool.
I've got to look good because I'm going to lose to G.I. Joe. Ah.
Yeah.
That looks so cool. That's actually really nice. That's actually really nice in the box too. Holy moly, they went all out for that.
Heck yeah. So it's a nice little set here that you can display and do whatever you want to do to. Yeah, yes, I love it. I love it.
Yes! Yes!
Snake Sean Gates says my Snake Supreme Coco came yesterday. Awesome. You got to match that. Yes, with one of the oops. Where'd it go? Oh yeah, match this with one of those Cloverfield clips.
Cobra!
I got to make some more of those now that I got my computer up and going again. Yes, Superman on vinyl. Absolutely. Enosh, do you have any movie used memorabilia? Trying to think. I've got a couple of it's not really movie used memorabilia, but it's like pieces of film from like episode 1 of Star Wars and stuff. Yeah. Bradley says, lock it up, Enosh. I'm coming for it.
Right.
You know what? I don't think there's any famous voices narrating on that. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any famous voices. I don't know if it even says who the voices are. Nope, but it's got 2 stories. It's got the Mixolydic Up Menace and Alien Creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the 2 stories on there. But yeah, I don't see anywhere where it talks about like who's actually voicing the characters. But yeah, I love the artwork from back in those days though.
Right. It was really nice.
They went all out with some of this stuff, man. The
Mhm.
quality, and and the stuff lasts to this day, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but by the way, my favorite GI Joe character was Storm Shadow. I had the hots for Storm Shadow. Nothing as sexy as a silent ninja. Oof.
Oh yeah. Now I got tons of Storm Shadow figures all over the place. But yeah, here we go.
If anyone wants to win my heart, cosplay as Storm Shadow.
There you go.
Yes, old school version. I loved him in the movie. He was my favorite. He was the only thing in that movie that made me love it. To see Storm Shadow.
Right?
I was like, yes, baby, yes, Storm Shadow.
Right? Heck yeah, yeah. And then this was a newer version.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I've got pretty much every version of Storm Shadow. And then of course I got the 6-inch one. Got that guy right there.
Yes. Storm Shadow is bae.
This guy I had to order twice because I got him from Amazon. I pre-ordered him from Amazon, and he got lost. He didn't come in. They said that he got delivered, and he didn't. So they had to.
I hate when that happens.
But I also got this.
Ooh.
The Destro statue. I've got the Cobra Commander statue that this comes with. They actually had Storm Shadow there, but I couldn't get 3 of them today. So it was like $50. They also had the Baroness. But yes, I got Destro. And then this is pretty cool. Serpentor.
Ooh.
So cheesy yet so good.
He
This
really had
command.
He really had the like weirdest costume.
Heck yeah, he did. Heck yeah, he did. But you gotta love it, man. Like, look, he had like real snakes. Like, and he would take them off and use them as spears and stuff. So
Yeah, it was cool, but they took the whole snake thing really outdid it.
Well, he's a Cobra Emperor. He's Serpentor.
He looks more like he belonged in He-Man.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Every time I see him, sometimes I forget he was actually from G.I. Joe. And I'm like, wait, isn't that dude from He-Man?
Yes, it is. No, wait, it's not. Yeah, but yeah, so there's just some things that we got today, and Tiffany actually got a Witcher figure.
Ooh, did she get the? She got the. Oh, I was eyeing that one at the store. That's funny, Tiff. I was looking at that same figure at the store, and I was like so tempted. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to get it. Oh, I kind of want to get it. And I talked myself out of it, but I might go back and get it because I know exactly the one she's talking about too. Oof, Henry Cavill.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. Anytime someone mentions Cobra Commander, I have to scream Cobra. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I got to do the same. It's just it's fun, man. I love GI Joe. GI Joe was my jam back in the day. So
I
just
had GI and Barbies, and I used to make them marry each other because I hated the Ken dolls, and Barbie was married to GI Joes. Sorry.
There you go. Well, she had to have some guy. I mean, Ken really wasn't doing it for her. So
no, Ken was not the man we needed. It was GI Joe.
Ken was just a big smoothie.
Yeah.
In many ways. Yes, Yendor, I absolutely agree with you. A proper GI Joe universe would be something special. And Ryan, yes,
I was once a man. Once a man.
Do you remember that, Saggy?
No, I don't remember.
That's from GI Joe the movie, the cartoon movie where they actually turned Cobra Commander into a snake. and he just keeps going on about how he was once a man.
Yeah, I didn't see the movie. I did the TV show.
Yeah, no, it was the animated one that came out in like 87, I want to say. It was 87 or 88. And it never actually went to the theaters because Transformers, the movie, bombed. And so even though we all look back on it very fondly, that cartoon, Transformers, the movie, it didn't do well at theaters. And so it made every cartoon that was going to come out with a movie. I mean, you had G.I. Joe was supposed to have a movie. Thundercats was supposed to have a movie. Thundercats ended up not even going into production because of it. But G.I. Joe, the movie, was already made. And so they had Don Johnson as Falcon. And who else was in that movie? Burgess Meredith was Globulus in that movie. And they introduced this whole thing called Cobra Law, which was like supposed to be the origins of where Cobra had come from. That it was a race of snake men. Talk about taking the snake motif too far. I just happen to have, because I have my Terradrome like right here next to me. So like for anybody wondering, like how is it that Enosh just has like this stuff like ready to go? There's the Terradrome right there. So I got stuff like it's ready to go there. So I got all my guys and stuff. Nice. So
see, I'm not surprised that those cartoons movies didn't hit, because we're talking about the 80s where the biggest movie theaters for cartoons was all Disney stuff. So
well, too, you know, I'll be honest with you, like as a kid, I think it was harder because back then parents really didn't want to go and see some of this stuff. So it was really hard to get your mom, you know, on a Saturday afternoon, maybe to take you to go see G.I. Joe, you know, like it was something as a kid you may have watched every afternoon, but you know, yes, tis I'm going to record some more Cloverfield clips. So yes, so stay tuned. Now that I got my computer back up and going, I will. Yes, they Bradley, to answer that question. Yes, the Snake Eyes movie is still coming out.
Ooh, yes.
And we shall see how that goes. Yes, Destro. Tiffany kind of wants Baroness now. Got to, you know, like now I got Cobra Commander and I got Destro and I've got Serpentor in those statues. I just got into statues, Saggy. I just got into these little statues. So now we got quite a few. And
can I make a suggestion though?
Yes.
Instead of Tiff getting a Baroness figure, Tiff, can you just cosplay as the Baroness? I would appreciate that very much. I think you would make a great Baroness cosplay. Just throwing that out there.
Wow. That would be yes. Some sexy right there. Look at that.
Would make a amazing Baroness. I know the black shoe would have to do. What color? I don't know. This might sound rude, but what color is Tiff's hair naturally? Is she blonde?
Yeah, it's like a sandy blonde. Yeah.
I would love to see her with black hair. Is that weird?
She's had black hair. Tiff, if you want to send me, if Tiff is watching, you could send Tiff. Just shoot me over. Shoot me over a picture real quick because she's got them all. Tiffany's had many different colors hair. She's had blue. She's had all kinds of.
I would love, and I know this might be creepy, but I would love to see Tiff in a Baroness outfit. That she would kill it. She would 100% kill it as a Baroness. I think she really should.
I would love to see Tiffany in a Baroness outfit.
I'm sure you would.
Well, as Ryan says here, because they changed the chant, Saggy, for that movie because it was Cobra La, so it was really weird and awkward. But they would yell Cobra la 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 la. And so, I think if I saw Tiff in a Baroness outfit, I'd be like Cobra. La 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 la. Just saying. Yes, Yendor, we got you in an 80s mood. That's awesome. That's a great way to start off the show tonight. Is in an 80s mood. What's up, H Barts with a $2 super chat? Thank you so much, buddy. Says Godzilla versus Kong, aka Big Lizard versus Big Monkey. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Have you seen Kong versus Godzilla yet, Saggy?
Oh, so I started to watch it, but I was promised to be on a stream because a friend was streaming it in Discord for us. So I started watching it, and I forgot what part I left off at. It was around the time when a Stranger Things girl was talking to her dad, saying, "Oh yeah, there's a reason why he's being active. There must be another one nearby," and that's when I had to stop. But from what I did see. And I don't mind spoilers, by the way. But from what I did see, it looked so good. I was like, I can't believe I got to miss this. No, it looked so good. I saw Godzilla, and I was like, oh my god, he looks so good.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it in a minute. But yeah, so there's parts that I really think look really great, and then there's some parts that are kind of a little suspect, to be honest with you. There was a couple parts that I was like, we all looked at each other this afternoon, and Isaac had already seen it. And there was this one part where I just looked and I go, that is so CGI. And it was just the background of something. And I was just like, wow, that's like really CGI, like just a CGI background. But it was, you know, it was all good. But hold on a second. So Tiffany just sent this to me. Oh yeah. Oh, well, dang, she sent me like the whole shebang here. All right.
You ask for one, you get the many.
I guess so. I get the many. So hold on a second here. Let me launch. Whoops. No, I don't want to do that. Gosh, you gotta love oh, here we go.
Ryan, I see that comment and I like this idea. I support it.
Okay. Let's see if it'll just oh yeah, here we go. It'll pull it up now. I want to open it with preview. Open it with preview.
Do it.
Yes, this was yeah, Tiffany does a lot of different cool things. One of the many reasons why I love that woman. All right. So here was her black hair. She had some red in this.
Ooh, okay. All right. I like that actually.
Yeah, she had some red in that. And then
she's so fine. Can we just talk about how fine Tiff is? She's so fine.
She is.
Listen, during that charity stream you did, I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't stop staring at her because I'm like, Enosh, why would you have your gorgeous wife on your stream? Because you know nobody's gonna be paying attention to nobody else but your wife. Because she was looking fabulous on that stream, smiles and all. She looked amazing, adorable. I was like, you messed up having your wife on your stream. Nobody's paying attention to Ray Fisher.
Oh, if that's coming from Snaggy, Ray. Oh my goodness, are you kidding?
All right, Ray, you can't beat Tiff. Sorry, I love you, Ray, but you're still bae. But
yeah. So here's Tiffany when she had some blue highlights in her hair.
Ooh, I like that. Wait, is it a little bit of black in there too? Okay.
So this she didn't mean to do. This kind of just happened. She got some different things done. She got this blue in, and then it just like it faded all throughout, and like she ended up loving it. She was like mortified when she first got it, but she ended up absolutely loving it, and then but it would be like impossible to do again. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things that was like a total accident that she ended up liking, but it would be like absolutely impossible for her to just make happen again.
I feel like Tiff could have like the worst hair boo-boo happen to her and she could just still somehow rock it. Just be like, have patches of different colors in there. She's like, I can rock this.
Yeah, this had some burgundy, some reds, some blonde. It was cool how like you could see there that like it kind of bled over, and you get some teals and stuff with the blonde and everything. Yeah, it was.
See, in the picture, you would have never guessed unless you told me that it was an accident. Because I'm like, that looks like it was intentional. It looked really good.
Yep. And for H Barts and for Tiffany, here you go.
Hey, yo, Pudgy, can I get an hour?
Rick and Company with $1.99 super chat says, hope all is well with you. Thank you so much, Rick and Company. I appreciate that. I hope all is well with you as well. Hope all is well with you as well. As with you, as with I, and all of your kin. Absolutely.
Yes.
Hey, it's me, Randy. It's me, Randy. I like that. That's cool. It says I watched Snyder Cut today. Amazing. So great. I had a friend over the weekend ask me if, the Snyder Cut was worth it. And I said, oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yes. It's absolutely worth it. And then they watched it and got back to me and they're like, oh, heck yeah. That was awesome. That was awesome. So it's winning people over left and right. The Plunger says, I'd give my handle for that Destro. Wait, I can't. Because Matt Jarbo broke your handle. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is something I didn't know. Vikram here says G.I. Joe was a big deal here in India back in the 90s. Me and all my friends had a massive collection. That is really cool to know, Vikram. I was not aware of that. Huh. That's cool. G.I. Joe was one of those things that, like, I know some people looked at it kind of like as an American thing because of, a real American hero. But I know around the world, some places branded it differently. And, And it was the 80s, man. Yes, Yendor. The voice for Cobra Commander was also Starscream in Transformers. And there's actually an episode of Transformers where Cobra Commander shows up, and he's called Old Snake. And at the very end of the episode, he goes to yell Cobra, and he starts coughing. And so he goes, Cobra! And so it's kind of funny. Bumblebee and Snake Eyes are hopefully what will start off a serious Hasbro movie universe, and Mask. I'd love to see some Mask for sure. Got a Mask vehicle right here. All my other Mask vehicles are in this other cabinet. You guys see this cabinet back here? I got another cabinet right here, and so that's where all my Mask stuff is. But I love Mask too. Do you remember Mask, Saggy?
Mask?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are we talking about the Jim Carrey mask? What mask?
No. It's and no, we're not talking about the Cher movie. When I was a kid, I told a family member, they asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I said Mask toys, and they thought that I was talking about the Cher movie with the Rocky Dennis story. I'm like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Good movie. No, but yeah, no, these were cool. Like it was like a hybrid almost of GI Joe and Transformers, because they would take these vehicles and then they would transform into other vehicles.
Yeah, I do remember Mask, but I do remember it, but I never got into it. I remember now what you're talking about, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, what?
It's a great cartoon. The cartoon was some good quality stuff, I'll tell you what.
Now, was it Americanized animation, or was it like anime, but they made it American?
No, I believe it. No, it was American, I believe, from the beginning.
Okay, because I know Transformers was anime.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because that was when the Sentai became a huge thing, like the giant fighting robots and, Astro Boy and stuff. So that's where we got Transformers, because everybody was big into the Super Sentai stuff. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty cool. Masks and cool.
Well, here we go. So Ryan with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Ryan. Says, request. You don't have to do it right this minute, but could we hear your WWE announcer voice recapping Godzilla versus Kong in this corner? Yes. Give me just a minute. And we'll get to that for sure. And then Resident Justice here says, Enosh, do you play video games? And if so, what kind? And Saggy, I'm still mad at you for getting me into Apex again.
You're welcome. That's all I can say. I mean, what's funny is I know you're not, some people are into Apex, but if you were a fan of Titanfall, because that's where Apex came from, they're actually next season, they're actually bringing in some Titanfall elements to Apex Legends. For those of you who don't know, it's going to be exciting. I'm excited. And yeah, RJ, you picked a good time to get back into Apex. I'm just saying.
Yes, shout out to Eric Stoltz, who was in that Mask movie. Yep, absolutely.
Ooh.
Yep. He played Rocky Dennis, and did a good job. That movie is actually really good. Have you ever seen Mask with Sharon and Eric Stoltz?
The Rocky Dennis one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. It was a good movie. The feels.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, GI Joe. Yes, I see Hugo and Donatello here talking about Action Man. Yes, so Action Man was a huge thing, I know, over in the UK. Yes. And you know what I just got? I don't have them in this room because I took them out of this room, but I got a bunch of old well, they're not old, but I got a bunch of figures for the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah,
I would love to see them go back to that style of turtle in the movies, but I don't know. Everything's got to be so CGI today. Yes, I've got that Camaro. It's right over here. I also have the airplane that turns into a helicopter and all that stuff. Yes. I loved Mask, man. Mask was fun. There was all kinds of good stuff back then. Yes, and yes, Eric Stoltz was the original Marty McFly. That's a really interesting story, actually, of how he was in that movie, and they reshot it with Michael J. Fox. But yes, Resident Justice. So I don't play a lot of video games. Most of the video games that I play are like just like NES games, right? So I love my just regular old Nintendo. I've got a Sega Genesis that I love. I've got 5 upright arcade games So I love that stuff. I love old school gaming. Every once in a while I get into a new game and I just play the heck out of it. Like when COVID first hit, I played Battlefront 2 and I beat it, and I had a blast. But like it's just kind of few and far between sometimes, you know, for me. Just because I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time to just give to gaming. And I feel like gaming has become, that's one of the reasons why I kind of like old school gaming, Saggy, because I feel like so many times gaming nowadays has become a thing of like, you have to devote time to a game, you know, which is fine. I just don't have a lot of time. So like a lot of times when I sit down and play a game and I just want to kind of vent and I just kind of want to get it out of my system and, you know, whatever, and have some fun, I sit down with my Nintendo, and I plan on streaming on Twitch some old school Nintendo stuff here coming up. Silent Scotty is working on something for me so that I can stream my old Nintendo stuff. And so
nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, gaming is a lifestyle now. It really has become a lifestyle. You have to put a lot of time in a lot of these games, especially like something like Apex Legends. In Fortnite, like Battle Royale games too, you get seasons, you buy a season pass, you really have to play a lot to get all the free stuff that they offer. And it's become like its own life now. It's fun, but some of it, Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, nobody saw me for days.
Yep. Yeah. Tiffany here, she goes, he's insane with Dr. Mario. Heck yeah, I am. Oh yeah. Heck yeah. Yes. But yeah, so that's kind of my thing. I actually Isaac just got that new GI Joe. Speaking of GI Joe, got the new GI Joe game for Switch. And so I told him, I said, well, I think we're gonna have to we're gonna have to get on that. We're gonna have to get on that. I'm gonna have to get on that show. So
Speaking of which, you're gonna have to tell Landon to ask Isaac to enter my giveaway on his behalf, because he already entered it in the last one. So he entered it again. I said, no, you already won the last one. So he might have to hint, have somebody else enter for him in case they win.
There you go. You heard it here. All right. So we do have some topics tonight that I want to talk about. I always love these. This was fun. Just talking stuff, showing toys and doing that stuff. But yeah, so lots of interesting things. First of all, I want to talk about, let's get this out of the way before we talk about Army of the Dead. Let's talk about Godzilla versus Kong. But I want to share something. I don't know if you guys saw this tweet, but man, if this tweet didn't get on my last nerve, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This tweet. Oh, you know what? And I never sent. Hold on a second here.
If Isaac wins, he's keeping it. Tiff, I believe it.
Yeah, I believe that too.
He won't say nothing. He won't even tell anyone he won.
Why would you?
Right.
You? Just be like, yeah. All right. I forgot to send it to. We started getting talking, and I forgot to send it to Zentech. All right. So Zentech, I just sent you the thing there. All right, cool. Done, and done. All right. So no, I saw this tweet, Saggy, and it just, I was very, very disappointed in the fact that we've talked a lot about, you know, WB and their mishandling of Zack Snyder's Justice League in general. You would think that a company who puts out something as huge as what Zack Snyder's Justice League has become, where it's literally winning people over who didn't even like his universe. Right. And I mean, it 1.5 million tweets last week in the space of 24 hours. You guys are fabulous. And I keep saying it, and I will keep saying it. Restore the Snyderverse. It doesn't mean that we will not accept the new stuff coming forward from DC. That's fine, but you can't just exclude Zack Snyder's vision. We want to see it all. We want it to all be part of this multiverse. And so I'm fine with the multiverse, Saggy. I'm fine with them doing all this stuff. But you know what? I want to see Zack Snyder's work completed. He had a 5-picture arc. I want to see that completed. I want to see that made and done. And so so it's, I think it's important to a lot of people now. And but the thing is the Snyder Cut came out, not one word from Warner Brothers, not a word of congratulations, not a word. I think they retweeted something maybe, but like, and then like the first week comes out and we don't get any numbers, from them. Usually these streaming services and movie companies and stuff, man, if they can even spin even a failure into being a #1 movie or something, it's like, this comedy came out. It's the only comedy came out this weekend, but they're like, it's the #1 comedy that came out this weekend on this specific date, trying to make it something for you. And that's not, we didn't see any of that. And yet it did amazing. It broke records, Saggy. 2.2 million views in the first just couple days. It broke the records for Crave up in Canada. It broke records in India. It is still being streamed nonstop, and hashtag restore the Snyderverse trends every day since it came out. Saki, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like I know that there's people who don't get into Twitter, and I was one of them. I was never into Twitter like until just the last few months. But like now I understand that sphere. Like for something to trend every day for the last few weeks, there's somebody who likes it. Okay. It makes it important. It makes it important in the public sphere of what's going on. And the only thing we've even heard is from Ann Sarnoff, a couple of weeks ago now, talking about, we're not going to do anything more with it. And basically hitting the fans, calling the fans toxic, saying, telling us what they're not going to do, not even telling us what they're going to do, telling us what they're not going to do. And yet today, Kong versus Godzilla, which I still say, look, if you or anyone were part of this group who was spamming Kong versus Godzilla and trying to downplay its, downvote it, please don't do that. Don't hurt somebody else's art. We've talked with people who are in Zack Snyder's Justice League, Ray Porter, Ray Fisher. They said the same thing. Don't hurt somebody else's art just because you like something else.
Right.
It's not the fault of the people who made Godzilla versus Kong that Warner Brothers has acted the way that they have. It's just not. And yet today we actually, I think, got to see from a company, from a movie studio who's really just benefits from the distribution, but who helped back the movie Kong versus Godzilla. Let's take a look at this and what they did, because when I saw this today, I was like, man, there's a company that gets it. So look at this. So this is from Legendary Pictures, which Legendary has a role in a lot of DC projects as well.
Right.
But check this out. Legendary, right up here at the top. Banner. First thing. Yep. Godzilla versus Kong. Right? Look here in their description. Welcome to the official Twitter of Legendary, Burbank, California. What website do they have there? Is it just for Legendary Pictures? No, it's Godzilla versus Kong.com.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. They probably are excited about the fact that this movie came out. Look at here. Here's their pinned tweet. Legends will collide. Watch the long-awaited official trailer for Godzilla versus Kong. This has been pinned there since January 24th. Okay. And then here's just some other stuff from 10 hours ago. They got this little thing about the Monsterverse meets in a mall in China for an epic event, and they got stuff about that. Now check this out. Check this one out right here.
Nope. Gotta blow up my screen. Continue the Monsterverse is trending.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. Oh, I see other comments down there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Continue the Monsterverse is trending. This right here, folks, is important because Legendary Pictures, there had only been 15,000 tweets about it, about hashtag Continue the Monsterverse at this point. And yet, Legendary supported their movie with hashtag continue the monsterverse and says it's trending. And look at that. They're smiling. They're happy. They got over 5,000 retweets on this, 1,250 quote tweets. That's a fun word to say. Fun phrase. And 22,000 likes. But yet they got it this excited, Saggy, over simply 15,000. 1.5 million tweets of restore the Snyderverse and not a peep out of anybody at Warner Brothers.
Yep.
That's sad to me. Like, because it shows there's a serious disconnect with Warner Brothers and their properties if they can't even do something like this where it's just like, hey, legendary show, just from this tweet alone, you know what? We're pretty excited about that. You know, it's a positive thing for their movie. Why wouldn't you be happy about that? And we all know a lot of the reasoning behind it is because, look, it shows up Warner Brothers. It shows that they were wrong with the decisions that they made in making Justice League, which isn't even a comparable movie at this point.
They can't be wrong, though, Enosh. They can't be. Why? They can't be wrong. And it shows by everything they've done since this movie came out. They can't be wrong. And they don't want people to know that they acknowledge they were wrong. They can't be. Because if they were wrong, now they have to make more movies with Zack.
Yep. And that's exactly it. Because like you said, if they admit they're wrong, they have to accept what that means. And this just it just made me sad. And then like you see some of the tweets underneath here, like, I wish Warner Brothers could see the attention for restore the Snyderverse, like how you guys see the attention for continue the multiverse. 1.5 million tweets, and they don't even care to breathe one word.
Yep.
You know, it's sad. It's sad. And I am happy to see a lot of positive posts here from people who are part of the Snyderverse. Because there's been a lot of positive things. Look here, it says it's lovely to see the studio back their fans. It would be amazing if other studios did the same and then use the hashtag continue the Snyderverse, hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
But do you know what's sad, Enosh? Do you know what's sad? Is that you're saying that these are all positive comments, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somebody out there is going to spin and be like, look at them harassing legendaries with Twitter page with all their Zack stuff. And it's always going to be twisted to a negative. That's just how it is in the online game.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and look, and there's always going to be a couple, that, that people are just, look, they're frustrated. Right. And I get that. People are frustrated, but we can't take that frustration out on these other things. We have to remain positive. And so I just encourage you guys, remain positive and, let's keep using the hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Don't spam it in places where it doesn't need to be, put it in places where it needs to be. And it's relevant, don't go to major tragedies that are happening in the world and spam restore the Snyderverse. Cause then you look like a jerk. That's not what we want to do. So that was just something, but so Kong versus Godzilla.
Sorry,
ladies and gentlemen, what were you laughing?
I was laughing because when you were giving examples, the first thing I thought in my head is somebody just posting a picture of their newborn baby. Hey, we just had a newborn baby, and then somebody be like, "Congratulations, restore the Snyderverse."
Heck yeah.
Okay, sorry, go on.
No, it's fine. And look, there are people who are who unfortunately are just they're taking it to places where it doesn't need to be,
don't congratulate your friend's new baby by saying hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
I mean, unless they're into it, unless they're
down.
Unless they're down, then hey. all bets are off then, man. Then just go for it.
Right.
But okay. So for Ryan Hartwell, for the millions watching by television and the thousands or the 84 in attendance here, Let's get ready to rumble. I'm probably going to get demonetized for that because, that guy's got, a trademark on that. But ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, weighing at how much does Godzilla weigh again? What, like 80 tons? He's a fatty, but he's got bad skin, and that's not really good for him either. But you know what? He's the king of monsters, so who's gonna care? Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, Godzilla and his opponent, hailing from Skull Island. You loved him in Kong, the movie that was named after him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ring, King Kong. In a fight, a battle for the ages, Godzilla versus King Kong for the undisputed heavyweight title of monsters. Let's go. Are you ready? Let's talk about this.
Yes, that was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. So Godzilla did really well this weekend, and so people are talking about that this is the start of something possibly for for theaters. And you all know that I'm huge into the theater going experience. And Yendor, by the way, I see your super chat and I see your comment, and I will get to that actually in just a minute. Just let me get this out here because that's another important story. I don't have all the stuff ready to go on that, but I'll share my thoughts on it real quick. But here we've got the box office. Godzilla versus Kong defeats pandemic with 48.5 million US start, hits 285.4 million globally. So it's doing pretty good. The temple exceeded all expectations and by far devoured the biggest opening at the domestic box office since the COVID-19 crisis struck. Globally, it hit a huge 285.4 million on Easter Sunday. And this says the U.S. box office is back in action. I know our theater opened up. It says Legendary and Warner Brothers tentpole Godzilla vs. Kong posted a monstrous debut at 48.5 million in its first 5 days, including an estimated 32.2 million from 3,064 theaters for the 3-day Easter weekend. It's so crazy to see these kind of numbers after what we had gotten used to for so many years. Isn't it, Saggy? Like, we're used to like hearing, that a movie made, $500 million its first weekend, if it was a hit. And now it's like, it made 285 million, but it's obvious just because people can't go.
Right.
People can't go. So the fact that it made this much money, I think is great. It says the big budget pick exceeded all expectations and is by far the biggest showing since the COVID-19 crisis commenced. Its performance is a huge jolt of confidence for nervous Hollywood studios and theater owners who worry as to when moviegoing will recover in earnest and whether it is safe to begin releasing high-profile films as the summer box office season approaches. Here it says, I think big movies like this working should tell everyone if we are rational in how we release a title, there is an appetite for people to have a shared experience in theaters, said Joshua Grode, CEO of Legendary. He said the decision to release the film wasn't for the faint of heart, but that it was the right movie for the moment. Adds Joel Goldstein, president of domestic distribution at Warner Brothers. This is really significant. It is igniting a recovery. So, and so then made foreign tally of 236.9 million for a global total of 385.4. It earned 71.6 in its sophomore outing at the international box office, a slim 37% drop. It is doing impressive business in China, where it dropped only 37%. In its second outing to gross another 44.2 million for a 10-day total of 137.1 million. Legendary has sole distribution duties in the Middle Kingdom. So, I think this is great. Saggy, I've said all along, I think the theaters will bounce back. I think the theaters will bounce back. I know there's a lot of people who are really down on it and think, no, it's not going to come back. It's not going to do anything. We're not going to see any kind of, resurgence. But I talk to people every day, Saggy, that they want to go do things again.
Right.
They want to interact with people. I mean, now before COVID, were you a big movie goer?
Before COVID, I would go to the movies. Not often, but it was a great date night.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something like, I can tell you right now, because I haven't been able to go back to the theaters because of COVID. Once theaters open, yeah, I'm going to want to go to theaters just because I haven't been able to for about like a year or so, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, once they open up, I think a lot of people underestimate how much people want that theater experience again and will go back, especially those who want to just keep it opened so they don't close down completely and go away. Because everyone, honestly, everyone really thought that the theaters were going to go away when streaming services started becoming a huge thing. So that hasn't happened, but you know, guys, definitely, even if you're not a big moviegoer, once things start getting back to normal, go to the theaters, keep them open, because the theater experience, you know, I mean, for crying out loud, Enosh, we still have, I don't know where exactly it is. I know there is the drive-in theater. They still have one of those. You know, those are still a thing. I wish there was more of them, to be honest with you. But yeah, even I would love to go to a drive-in theater. I've never been to one, but I would love to go to one. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, so we've got a drive-in here, and the drive-in by us has done phenomenally well since this. You know, they've been open for it, and so I like this. Bring the Meg to the Monsterverse. That would be cool. That'd be cool. I think the only problem with bringing the Meg to the Monsterverse is it's just a mindless shark. But I still like the idea. For sure.
If Sharknado can be a thing, I'm just saying.
You are so right. Those are true words. Because you know that's the crazy thing is, like, literally somebody was sitting around, Saggy, and they were like, "Hey, we've got this idea for a movie, right? And it's going to be a shark in a tornado, but not one shark." Thousands of sharks in a tornado. What do you think? And it goes on land? Yes. And the sharks are alive? Yes. And they're still eating people? Oh, yes. And they survived the entire movie? Yes. Out of water? Oh, yes. And it stars Ian Ziering? Yeah. And Tara Reid? Well, of course. Where do we sign?
They had 3 movies?
6. 6 movies, Saggy.
Oh my
6.
God. Oh my God, it hurts my heart.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
It hurts my heart.
6 movies, Saggy.
Oh my God, 6? I thought there was only 3. They made 3 more. 3 wasn't enough. Oh my God.
Oh yes, 6 movies.
To
6
be
movies.
a fly on that wall during that pitch meeting, I would pay so much money to be a fly on that wall.
It's like I think there was a lot of this at that meeting. Drugs.
It's on that
I agree.
Lots of drugs at that pitch meeting, for sure. But, you know, like I said, people are seeing this as a possibility that we actually get, you know, a resurgence in people going to the movies. And I hope so. Look, I want people to get vaccinated. I want people to take care of themselves, wear masks, do what you got to do. But we will bounce back, folks. Variety even here had an article that says, will Godzilla versus Kong kick off a post-COVID resonance? I can talk. Renaissance. I can get it. Renaissance. There it is. There's the word. You like that word? Renaissance? Renaissance.
I know.
Renaissance. I can say it. Trust me. I can say it.
Why did you say that?
I believed in you the whole time, Enosh.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
It took me a minute, but
Yeah, it did.
we got there.
We got there.
renaissance for movie theaters. It says with vaccinations rising and COVID restrictions easing, and that's what we're going to see more of. I think, confidence will go up as well, and confidence will also go up. My mouth is numb. All right.
You're gonna have to do English exercises in the back before you go on stream.
Okay. Was it the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, they're slowly getting their groove back. This weekend saw the debut of the first pandemic era hit in Godzilla versus Kong. I don't know about the first hit because Wonder Woman was considered a hit because Wonder Woman made quite a bit of money. This just made a lot more. And so that's good. A sign that people are ready, even eager to return to their local multiplexes after a year spent streaming movies at home, which streaming movies at home is fine. But like people want to, they want to experience this stuff. Hey,
right.
Ladies and gentlemen, look who's here. Yes, the plunger breaker himself, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Jarbo. What's going on, Jarbo?
Not much. I just got home. So I was out doing my nightly deliveries.
Heck yeah.
Money.
We got to change it up for him.
Heck yeah. We're just talking about a couple of things here. We were talking about Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong, I should say.
Well, I think you said it right the first time. They just titled it wrong.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't want to give any spoilers away necessarily for people who haven't seen it, but I really liked it. I love Kong. And I think they did a really good job trying to humanize Kong and like make you feel something for Kong. Not so much with Godzilla.
Actually, I just covered that movie for Patio commentary yesterday.
Okay.
And that was actually on purpose. So they wanted to humanize Kong because of his connection with the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Godzilla, it's like, well, he has a softer side, but we're really just not going to see it. And that's about it. That's kind of how the whole thing.
Wasn't King Kong always like his whole story off was he got attached to humans and then they kind of screwed him over and then he went rawr, but he always was still kind of like humanized.
Yeah.
Like, when you first met him, he was always like that. That's nothing new. Godzilla for me was like kind of weird because every time I think of Godzilla, you just think of like him destroying everything. I some of the story arcs, he's a guardian for humanity, sure, but he always starts off by just destroying everything around him and not even caring about humanity. So I've never.
Well, I mean, we watched him in the first Godzilla take on the two Mutos.
Yeah,
and then we saw him in King of the Monsters take on Ghidorah and Rodan, right, and some other stuff. And then in this one, it's like he went from being the good guy in two movies to effectively being the bad guy. And they're all like, we don't know why he's doing this. I mean, you find out why. Like, you do find out why. But, like, the human element was so, like, cut short in this movie that it has even me going, no, where's, like, the Wingard cut? Can we get the humans? No, because that was the thing, too, is, like, that actually did come up in conversation with the director. And, like, Lance Reddick, for example, the guy who was in charge of Monarch, he's got, like, he's in top billing, right? He's in the top billing, the opening credits. He's got 3 lines. One scene. That's it. And is because like they cut it out of the film. They whittled it all down. Apparently there's other story developments that ended up just getting cut down. And I'm like, but see, here's the thing though, 48.5 million or something like that when they were estimating 23 million, with an HBO Max release and everything else. It's like, clearly no one cares about the human element, but you should.
You should. And the movie was short too, so they had plenty of room that they could have added more.
It really wasn't. It was 1 hour and 53 minutes.
It just felt really short.
It felt fast paced because there was like, it's like, okay, here we are. Like let's set up the fights. All right, they're gonna fight here, fight here, fight here, fight there. Final fight, and then it's over. And you're like, all right, cool. But it's like even the Mothra lady, the doctor Zhang Ziyi from King of the Monsters.
Yeah,
she was cut out of this movie. Like Kyle Chandler, the dad from the last movie, had 2 scenes in this film, or 3 scenes if you count the ending. And it's just like, the thing is, you're like, oh, okay. Like Millie Bobby Brown didn't even need to be in it.
No, I didn't feel she needed to be like that was weird.
Stranger Things. That's why she was in it.
Well, I know
Stranger
when
Things.
she was in the last one, but but I agree with you, Matt. They didn't really give her much to do, really, that made sense that like it had to be her.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean? She was that teenager who was like, "No, Dad, I'm gonna disobey you and do what I want."
But it's also
It didn't
like
have to be her.
It didn't have to be her. It literally could. And then also like the person she teams up with, I want to know more about his deal because nothing about that made sense to me. Just in the sake of
both of you. She was the Stranger Things edition version of King Kong versus Godzilla.
And I'm fine with that. I'm fine. I have nothing against Millie Bobby Brown. I thought Enola Holmes was wonderful.
She wasn't bald enough for me. Okay, that's my only grievance.
Well, now we know your kink. 17-year-old ball girl. There we go. Cancel Saggy, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to become the new spokesperson for Subway.
Matt Jarbo went there. I did not. I don't know what he's going on about.
I don't know if you were listening, Matt, earlier when I did my little monologue going in. And I said, but we're just going to see how the evening goes and see who ends up joining and stuff. I said, and Matt Jarbo will probably come in and just take the show to a whole other level.
I literally wasn't listening. I was listening to true crime podcasts tonight, so I came on in.
Well, you were mentioned for this.
Aren't I always mentioned? Let's be real.
Yeah, we love you.
We love you, makes things uncomfortable.
I just think. Look, the movie itself. You're right. The movie itself. I don't have anything wrong with the movie itself. I think I thought it was a fun movie, but like literally, I had been waiting to make popcorn, like throughout the movie. And just trying to get comfortable and stuff. And then like, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to get up and go make some popcorn. Let's pause it for a second. And the movie was half over.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
And I looked at the pause button. I'm like, wait a second. It's half over. Like,
it really was short. I saw that how long it was. It really was a short movie.
And like I said, I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, because what it was is I watched Kong Skull Island earlier that afternoon for the first time because I hadn't seen it yet. And I'm kicking myself because Kong Skull Island was like really good. And Godzilla King of the Monsters was also really good. And Godzilla 2014 was really, really good. And this one was like, it was good, but I wouldn't go as far as to say it was really good. Like it's a fun movie. Yeah. It's something you put on when you're like, hey, I just got this new TV or I got this new sound system or I just want to watch like monster CGI porn for an hour and a half. You're good. But the thing is though, now the question becomes like about continuing the Monsterverse, and they might be kind of screwed.
Because of Toho and Legendary, because Toho wants to they're gonna have to renegotiate now because Toho wants to basically reboot Godzilla, and so now I guess there's some talk about they may not want to re-up for more of these movies.
The thing with that is if this is it, I'm happy. Right. Yeah. Because
I don't know where you go from here.
Well, so I can't, there is a way, but it is going to require a spoiler. And I mean, if anyone here doesn't care, I'll say it, but if people do care, I won't say it. But generally, there's an item so there were 2 of 3 items that were mentioned in this movie. One of item is missing, but it popped up at the end of the last movie. I know. I'm just going to put it in the private chat. Okay. I'm going to totally like misspell it. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, one is missing, and we saw kind of what happened with the end of the last movie. But they weren't even that wasn't even mentioned at all in this movie.
Nope.
So there were plot threads that I think were set up that were because in doing my research for it, like the guy so they had a writer's room for this movie. Okay.
Yeah.
They had a writer's room for it and they brought in people with literally like no official credits. Like 2 of the guys in this writing room, they went on, their only IMDb credits are that they are the co-showrunners of the Amazon Lord of the Rings show. That's it. That's literally it. Now, I don't know if they've just done like uncredited rewrites or that's how they've made their name. And that's entirely possible, by the way. But like, so you got them and then you've got like Terry Rossio, who wrote Pirates of the Caribbean and Shrek. And he was leading the writer's room for just this movie. They had a writer's room for just this movie. And then like Michael Dougherty, who co-wrote and directed the last movie, he offered his rights, and then they gave it off to like the writer of Kong Skull Island, and then the writer of Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow, and those are the guys who crafted this screenplay. So there's so many like people that have been involved with writing this movie, and I'm still like, it's kind of incomprehensible at sometimes. You know, it's hard to tell, and that's just because they cut this thing down so lean that you know that there's a director's cut, right?
Oh yeah.
And Adam Wingard did say, he's like, no, this is the definitive cut. I wouldn't dream of doing it any other way. Yada 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 yada. David Ayer said the same thing back in 2016. You know, so we know that there are multiple cuts. If anything, Zach has has shown us the way.
Yes.
Right. So in this regard, it's like Wingard, I'm pretty sure like in 2-3 years, someone will ask him about it. And he'll be like, yeah, there was like a longer cut of the movie, but it just didn't make it out. And then of course, then we can start pushing for release the Wingard cut of Godzilla versus Kong. But if the movie is profitable enough, and it looks like it's going to be, because it did have a smaller budget than King of the Monsters by about $10 million.
Just noticed that.
I saw that earlier before I came in. Whatever.
Raven Jarbo.
Whatever. You're the one who's thirsty for me, apparently. I get it. My voice is amazing. It's like butter. I get it. But I'm taken, Saggy. I'm sorry.
For now.
But I will be putting out a Bronley fans page, and you might want to subscribe to Bronley fans.
What?
Yeah, it's that's going to be how we get Justice League 2. Bronleyfans.com, and it's going to be sluts for Superman. Okay,
put the lotion in the basket, Matt
but
Jarbo.
no nudity. It's just going to be very tasteful erotica. Okay,
Ew, what the
very tasteful nipple tassels, pasties, covered up.
God.
Everyone's going to be very tightly shaven. You know,
like it's a massive thing, and so I want to see his thing.
I want to see his thing. Friggity Dosh, what?
What? That's interesting. The Yendor 24 with his 499 super chat, he's been waiting for a while, and I know that this is probably right up your alley, Jarbo. But asked me, he said, Enosh, what's your point of view on Sean O'Connell and his sudden shift heel turn on the fandom? He seems to be calling doom and gloom on the Snyderverse. Continuing, I liked your choice of words there, calling him a heel turn, because I think there's a lot of people right now who are they're showing their true colors, but they just can't get it together.
You take your 30-30 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning. If we used to go 1-on-1 and then add 66 2/3%, I got a
yeah.
I'm
Look,
so glad my cam is off so no one can see my facial expression.
Sean O'Connell, like I said the other night, somebody asked me about Sean O'Connell the other night, and I just said this. The other night, I said, I don't know what to make of Sean O'Connell. I know that Matt has a very specific point of view on Sean O'Connell, but I haven't known what to make of Matt. I have not read all of the book yet. That somebody provided me with, and I am trying to I try to stay positive about things, but honestly, after the stuff that got tweeted out this last weekend and stuff over the last few days from Sean to people, I'm not happy about it. And I think that I think you're right, Yender. I think it feels like a heel turn, but I have to ask, like, was he really ever with us to begin with? I think that's the question. It's like when you see somebody kind of do this turn to like something that doesn't really seem to make much sense after someone has been supportive of something or whatever, like, you know, there is just people being practical who say, look, I don't think it's going to happen. And then there's kind of being overly critical and overly, voicing some kind of negative opinion about it. I mean, like we've all had the conversations, like, do we think that the Snyder cut can still happen? And we've all given our reasons, for whether or not it can or it can't. And I think that there are ways that it can happen. And we all acknowledge the ways that it probably is not going to happen. It's probably not going to be a major theatrical, thing for Warner Brothers, but there's always the hope for HBO Max, and I think even Matt's brought up, some of the possible hurdles that has to get over, even, for it to get through that. Even I said it the other day. There's something about Sean O'Connell that has always kind of just been weird to me, and I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, and I can't really say one way or the other, but it's weird.
I have a big question though. And this is very important. So who is Sean O'Connell?
Sean O'Connell, he wrote a book. He wrote the book actually on the Snyder Cut, right? And so he's an online. Who is he with? See, I got his Twitter up here.
Cinema Blend.
He's with Cinema Blend.
Is he the guy that Ray Fisher called out because he said something in an article or said something about it in the book about Ray's situation and Ray corrected him?
Yes.
Okay, so I know I kind of know of him.
That's not Sean O'Connell.
That's not the right Sean O'Connell.
No, that's another
right
Sean. It's Sean with a dash.
I mean, it is
with a dashy dash.
You can't say he's not Sean O'Connell.
Okay, fine. He's not the one we're looking for.
Thank you. You
Right,
gotta. You can't.
Fine. Obi-Wan GIF.
There it is. There it is, right there. Right. Is this the right one? Yeah, Cinema Blend. Yeah. So so here he's got a pinned thing from March 2nd. It says the release of Snyder Cut Family is amazing. The new release, it's his book, and released the Snyder Cut. That's what it's called. And I know Matt had some issues with it because he felt, Matt, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I know you felt like he was being disingenuous and that it was kind of a conflict of interest for him to use his position at Cinema Blend to basically promote his book.
Yep.
And so I mean that kind of puts that there. But he says, I tweet here. He says this is 4 hours ago. He says, I tweet restore the Snyderverse daily and make videos like this. It's like you guys aren't even bothering to hide your lies. It's so sad that the Snyder Cut community has been overrun. I tried. Block spree begins now. Because here someone says no one finds it suspicious that the guy who wrote the Restore the Snyder Cut book is not pushing to restore the Snyderverse. Smells like it was all for money. It says here you can't use facts on people like at Culture Nerd. Like, I don't know what he.
Wait. Sorry, those two words don't go together. The Culture Nerd and facts don't go together.
So
like
his issue is that he wrote a book about this. Zach in his version and stuff, and yet people are like, why aren't you backing the project, wanting more of this? And he's just like, don't tell me what to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay, so I caught wind of this a little bit. Like, I unfollowed Sean after our exchange before his book came out when the editor of Cinema Blend was like, well, I authorized the article. And I'm like, that doesn't excuse the article's existence,
Right.
Like, do your job, I said, if this is a hill you want to die on, he's like, well, I mean, like, if this is like, I'm not, there's a total blow off sort of situation. Now look, Sean put out his book. All right. He put out his book. He promised to put out a book. Apparently the book is good. I haven't read it. But you know what? I mean, at this point in time, like, you can pretty much see that there was only one angle he was going for. It was just he saw a way to profit. He's now working on another book. I forget what it's for. Like, I think it's like something else, but it's like, this is what all it's going to be. And isn't the book a very quick read?
Isn't the book called Release the Snyder Cut?
Yeah.
So like, why isn't like that makes no sense? So if you wrote a book about it.
So here's something. I can't remember where I don't know where this started, but he's been going back and forth with people for like a while now. But all of these attacks are why we are called toxic. People don't have to be 100% either for or against Zach. WB will not be moved on this. Period. The only chance we have is AT&T stepping in. Until that happens, Sean is just trying to get us to face the possibility of that reality. But then he says it's a toxic side of an otherwise beautiful fandom. They are what is scaring WB away. There will be no restore the Snyderverse because of trolls like them. They destroyed it.
WB
Let me just be clear on this one. And you may want to, people can hear me. What does Sean have? What does he have?
A book.
It's a 6-letter word, right?
Clout.
Access.
Oh.
Sean has access.
What?
So why would he continue to push a narrative about restoring the Snyderverse when Warner's is something that doesn't want to do it? So he doesn't want to risk losing his access. This is the whole point of Access Media. This is the whole point of people like Sean, who double dip on their content, who double dip on their audience, and then don't want to run the risk of losing access for the platform. Because how many times has Sean interviewed Kevin Feige? How many times does Sean go and interview, people, the Cinema Blend podcast that he does, right? There's that one guy, Joe something, I think his name is. He's the guy with the really clean cut guy. Like the very chiseled jaw. That guy has a video where he's interviewing Brie Larson and he proceeds to mansplain the harassment campaign against her. Like what she meant that kicked off the harassment campaign. He literally mansplains it to her face, directly in front of her. And she's like, yeah. He tells her what she meant, which I thought was very interesting. Look, these people, these guys, they never tell you what they truly think publicly because they don't want to risk losing access.
Right.
They don't want to risk losing their jobs. Sean has a very comfortable job. He is the managing director of Cinema Blend. That is probably a salaried position. And he got to leverage that position to publish a book that was, very unethically pushed through his website on multiple occasions. So he was paid money, he was paid money ultimately to sell his own product through. I just have so many issues with that.
And look, I'll say this in trying to give equal opportunity, I will say this because obviously, Matt has got his opinion on this. Okay. I've never talked to Sean O'Connell. Sean O'Connell's gone on with my buddies, the 4 Nerds. He's been on with other people. Sean, I would absolutely be fine with you coming on the Point Extra Lounge and sharing your point of view. Because like I said, it's not that I don't have such a hard line necessary, thing with Sean. I would want to hear from Sean. Because so far what I've heard in other interviews or with other things or like reading these tweets, like this tweet right here, I don't believe this tweet for a second. I don't believe this tweet. I don't think that this tweet is the truth. He says, ask yourselves, because I feel like this is taunting now. Like you can tell somebody, you can tell, these fans, like, oh yeah, I'm with you. But, and use the hashtag and that's great. But, but saying things like ask yourselves why they aren't showing you the viewing numbers. You will hate the answer, but ask yourself why. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. No, there's been plenty to show that people watched it.
My issue right now I'm having is like these people literally, and I'm getting mad because it's like people want to talk about, oh well, you don't have to take a side or whatever. It's like, but you called the book Release the Snyder Cut. Your book is about it being released, why it was, and all this stuff. And here's my thing. If you didn't want to take a stance, you shouldn't have wrote the book the way you did. You shouldn't have titled the way you did. And it's like, no one's saying you have to. Sure, that's fine. But it's just weird. You can't be mad at people questioning why you wrote this book about this cut and it's come out and you see the fans want more. And you are in a position of power where you can kind of help the fans shift that and you just choose not to, and then you're gonna be mad at the fans, and now we're toxic. People are toxic for asking questions. I didn't see anyone say anything really rude or incorrect at him. They asked a question, but they're toxic because they asked a question. You are no better than WB, who ignores the fans and then have the audacity to go on Twitter and pop off the way you did. And I can see why Ray checked your behind in the first place when you came out with something that was incorrect, and he had to check you. Some journalist you are, dude. Some book writer you are, that the person you interviewed had to come back and check you on Twitter. And then you took days to redact the. Are you serious right now, bro? And you're really gonna sit there and berate the fans like that? You're stupid and disgusting. I don't have a problem saying that. So yeah, Enosh will let you on. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, I don't have the numbers. You ain't welcome on my stream because I'll pop off on you. You won't like what I have to say, Sean. Telling you, man.
H Bart's here though with a $2 super chat. Says King Shark says howdy, and is that a shark joke?
Hey man, hey man, you got any more bonuses?
Hey man, I got the cheeseburger, man.
Oh,
Jim
man.
Brewer.
We gotta have plenty of bonuses, man.
Plenty of bonuses.
Here,
You know who doesn't
bring
get
up
bonus?
this share that I have.
All right, yeah, okay.
You know who doesn't get a bonus? Sean O'Connell.
Real quick, I do want to get through a couple of these because I know people have been waiting. Cinefinity and Beyond with a $5 Canadian super chat says, Enosh, were you ever into Stretch Armstrong and Vacman? Vacman was one of my favorite characters growing up. I should try to find one on eBay. I never had a Stretch Armstrong, if I'm being completely honest. I've never had one, but I had friends who had one, and we used to, throw Stretch Armstrong around in the backyard and have fun. And I don't think I'm familiar with who Vacman is.
He sucks.
Okay.
Just use Matt Jarbo as an Armstrong. He's got stringy, syrupy, made thing arms. Just stretch him out.
Matt Jarbo is pretty
arms.
syrupy. He's
like
pretty syrupy.
It's so weird. I have such a wide, I have a very wide frame, chest, but my arms are dainty and Victorian. It's very weird.
Okay, and so now we're finally to the point where Matt Jarbo joined the stream. So I'm sorry, Cinefinity. I gotta now thank you though, because I will now go and look up Vacman for sure. But this is where it says, "Yay, Matt! Where's Jat? Where's Jat, Matt?" And then H Barts comes in and goes, "Did Matt defeat Jat Marbo? Did you defeat Jat Marbo?"
I can't legally talk about that. We're currently in litigation.
Oh, okay.
It's up.
And then I love the next one is the plunger. It says Plunger versus Matt. Guess who wins? But I will have my great prize, my handle, ready my armada of toilet brushes. I'm telling you, the plunger's coming after you, Matt. We got to have a stream, man. Where it's just you and the plunger.
To be fair, better men have tried.
Well, the plunger is not a man. The plunger is a stick with a suction cup on it, and
it sucks.
And a broken stick at that, so it's sharp. Andrew Christie with a $5 super chat says the comedy between Brian Milee and Kiwi Kid felt like something from 15 to 20 years ago. So dated. Talking about Godzilla versus Kong. Yeah, there were parts, that I agree. Felt a little I don't know. Not quite up to today. There was one scene, like I said, we saw it, and immediately, and it's kind of crazy in a movie full of great special effects. There were a couple of shots that I was like, ooh, yeah, that's not good. Thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it. Snyder Cut Steppenwolf says AT&T has the final say, not WB. Sean is a clown. Bingo Matt. So a lot of people agreeing with Matt here in the chat. Sean loves Lord Feige. What's up, Brian Master and Nunn? Would love to have you in here, buddy, if you can make it. Sean, Campia, etc. All are the same bland, corporate-minded, vanilla, status quo pundits. So Andrew with a $5 super chat. So, Matt, one thing I do agree with you is I think that the problem for some of these guys is, like you said, this is their job, right? So
yes,
they can't do anything that takes them too far off of that that narrative or off in some crazy direction where they're going to take too much flack, where they risk their position, and that's the problem with that is that I recently watched some old episodes of Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah.
Okay. And those guys, it used to be, man, like they didn't care. They gave you their opinions, right? Even if it was an unpopular opinion, they still gave you their opinions. And that's not to say that those guys were perfect either. But nowadays, it does seem like sometimes some of these people are really in either with the studio, or they get in with a certain narrative that they know where their money comes from.
If you want my honest look, I'll make a hot take here, okay? But I have a feeling down the road we'll find that I'm more correct than not. Sean was probably told by Warner's to not push Restore the Snyderverse. I'm pretty sure someone there told him. Or they told Cinema Blend, and Cinema Blend is then, trying to get him to now push back on it, because now he's trying. If you notice, he's trying to play the PR game, right? It doesn't make any sense. Spend all while they're promoting the movie, while they're building it up. He writes the book. No one's going to care. It's free publicity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the movie comes out. The fans clearly want more. Now there's a lot more of them because the movie's really good and people have seen that. And now all of a sudden, like, their main champion in the media is now turning against them and trying to call everyone a toxic troll. Like, isn't that a little bit on the peculiar side? That's suspicious. That's weird, if I'm going to quote Cardi B.
Matt Jarbo quoting Cardi B right here.
There's actually her like on an Instagram live. There's a clip of her saying that. It's really good. But it's true. Like it's true. I mean, look at what I told you about Louis Lecca contacting Bad Robot over the Phantom Menace.
Hey, Brian's here. What's up, Brian?
Nice. Oh, not much. Accidentally kind of fell asleep about like 7 and just woke up. So cool. Whoa, what's up, guys?
What's going on?
I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
Sorry. So Louis Lecca, right? Nuke the Fridge Nerd Reactor, contacted Lucas or Bad Robot to complain about the Phantom Menace. Like, he says, why aren't you guys talking about this? These guys are clearly running your name into the ground, and they're making up false narratives. Why aren't you saying something about this? And they kind of reacted by inviting him to a press conference for The Rise of Skywalker that he previously was not invited to. And they invited him to the world premiere of the movie, which he had previously been unable to get tickets for. So they reacted to him reaching out to them and providing this. And then also JJ talking about the Phantom Menace in an interview, I believe, with like Entertainment Weekly or something. So it's like these guys pay attention to this stuff. And the PR people, if they don't like what you're doing, they won't work with you. Like, they're not required to work with you, and look at what we found out with Warner Brothers in the Ray Fisher situation. They were trying to bribe Ray. Hey, kind of back off talking about this and we'll give you a nice part in that new upcoming Flash movie, and all the things they were trying to do to hinder that particular investigation. And it took a lot of fan pushback and support of Ray in order, I think, to be able to see it through to the end. So it seems to make sense that the current hierarchy at the studio might be kind of muscling their weight around and saying, like, well, do you guys want to continue your access? Because they all live in LA and they all work in LA. Oh, I don't know if Sean does. I'm pretty sure, but they're all part of an ecosystem of people, and they're all super connected. They all know each other, and it's like, good or bad, this is the situation we find ourselves in. But the fact that he's done that heel turn so quickly, to me, it just comes across as, like there's something here that's happening. Something rotten in Denmark.
Yeah. H. Bart's here with a $5 super chat, says, went to Hamada Burger. It was 0 out of 10. I would recommend the Snyder Cut Steakhouse. 10 out of 10. Well, I think, man, I don't know what's worse. What's worse, Hamada Burger or DC Burgers?
I mean, right now they're one and the same.
Come for the burgers, stay for the explosive diarrhea.
Well, horse meat will do that to you.
Well, that's when you just go right across the street
roughly the same feeling.
That's when you just go right across the street to the Doomcock Proctology Center. Because when it comes to crap, he's an expert. So there you go. And if that doesn't work, just grab a Doom enema for when you need to flush out all your logic and sense.
Flush it. Flush it good.
Yeah, I don't know. But I agree.
Look, this is all a theory, by the way. It's not an accusation. I just want to make that abundantly clear if I didn't already. This is not an accusation, but looking at how Hollywood and like the PR arm of stuff operates, I feel like Warner's has been in damage control.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's like, again, what happened when they canceled these projects and they said, oh no. It was, a cul-de-sac movie that didn't, it wasn't going anywhere, but the appearance of a villain, that it wouldn't even be the villain by the time we got to the New Gods, right? He was going to be Euxis, wasn't he? I believe. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it's a cul-de-sac, right, you can have 2 Batmans, you can have 2 Flash, you can have 3 Batmans.
Heck yeah, it doesn't matter.
Right? It doesn't matter. But whoa, Dark Side, pump your brakes, bro. Pump your brakes. We can't have that. Whoa. It doesn't make any sense. Like, none of it makes any sense.
You can't have people actually like this movie. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Right?
No,
Right,
it's just like it just screams
Can't
suppression.
make money. There's no bonus.
It's so stupid. Even the bonus thing, I think, is overplayed. It was mostly they were worried about being fired.
How dare you downplay the bonus?
Because I do my research.
No. You cannot downplay the bonus.
I think the clip of Firewater saying it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Don't downplay the bonus. It's
a bonus.
It's a bonus.
Yeah, you can't downplay the bonus.
But
I don't have enough yachts. Get me a bonus.
Warner Brothers is gonna Warner Brother, and I'm so like
that sounds like a T-shirt. Warner Brothers is gonna Warner Brothers.
Oh my God, Enosh, make that a T-shirt. Please make that a T-shirt.
I got my list here.
Yeah, but hold on, I get a cut of that if you sell any of that.
No,
just
he
saying.
gets nothing. He can't get a cut.
No, that's part of what the cult is. Once you say it, it belongs. All things said on the Poindexter Lounge belong to Poindexter Lounge, trademark 2021.
I think I tweeted out Warner Brothers is going to Warner Brother or something like that the other day.
No, now do you see what he's doing?
I see what he's doing.
Credit now. Yeah,
I see what he's doing. I mean, like,
Trademark Rick Bobby.
Oh no, you don't even want me to go into the history, the etymology of that saying. Man.
Sir, I'm the Poindexter Lounge's official representative, and my client has declined the offer to cut you in on the T-shirt deal we are about to make, and you're gonna have to speak to our lawyers on this subject. And I hope you're ready to lawyer up because you ain't getting a penny, sir. Not while I'm standing. Not while I'm breathing.
I'm not afraid.
You should be afraid. I'm beautiful.
That's gonna go right next to the quality. Get filled with it T-shirt. and oh, that's right. And I'm Jat Marbo, your Uber Eats driver.
I don't know. One of these days, me and Matt Jarbo
I think I might have to
really
cut
need
him
to
in.
get into a debate fight. I want to fight Matt Jarbo. Make it real.
I don't know why you want to lose so badly. Like, I don't know why you're like pushing.
How dare
to
you,
lose.
sir? How dare you assume I'm going to lose?
It's not an assumption.
How dare you? I would smoke them cheeks, Matt Jarbo. Smoke
Really?
them.
You'd
Yeah,
smoke them.
them.
I'd clap them. There's a difference.
No, I'd smoke them and then clap. The clap would come afterwards because smoke comes first.
The smoke comes afterward because that's how you know you're done.
Smoke before fire, baby. You know how
Wow,
fire
Make
works.
sure you see a doctor afterwards. That sounds.
That's
very bad.
really like I can only. But the way you're inferring that, I can only imagine you've had very terrible boyfriends.
Yeah, just a fun fact, me and Matt Jarbo dated and have passed, so yeah, he's my terrible boyfriend.
Well.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
You see how
just like to tease everybody a little bit, just tickling it a little bit.
Oh my God, he said that.
Yep.
What I thought was really
my
funny
God.
about that was like he clipped that during the stream where he said it.
I did.
That was pretty funny.
I did.
That is pretty funny.
I did.
Yeah,
It
you
was great.
bullies me. Matt Jarbo's a bully. You see how he does?
I'm such a bully. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a cyber bully, guys. I'm very upset. I'm afraid of Matt Jarbo.
You're the one that's making all those freaking deep fakes of me. I mean, like
they're freaking beautiful. And
how many photos of me are on your hard drive? That's my question.
Not a lot. Don't censor my art, Jarbo. How dare you?
You do you, boo. Right?
I can appreciate good art. I can appreciate good art.
Exactly. So why are you complaining about my beautiful Matt Jarbo?
It feeds my ego. I'm a narcissist, so that's what I need.
We're gonna have a museum. We are gonna make a Matt Jarbo museum with all of your beautiful deep fake art. Okay, that's said for me.
You don't actually want to see some of the artwork that has been made about me. Like there is some pretty.
We can still hear everybody. This one, for some reason, we could talk over.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. We don't want to talk.
I'm more interested in like the dog toys that are like just strategically placed around him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pull that back up. That's because that's the nice. I didn't even notice that. Yes, well, because they're in the left-hand side. There is my dog's little dog basket where all the dog toys are, and so they had pulled them all out there. And
he's so focused playing Beat Saber. I love it.
Yes, and then you notice the sign above, all because two people fell in love.
Oh, Boston. Oh,
hey. Really, it's more because all because one person didn't pull out. But I mean,
Jarbo.
What?
What the heck?
What?
We do not condone. I love it when if you talked more like that all the time, you'd get more super chats.
Well, if I talked about pulling out?
No. Oh my lord, no.
I mean, how do you think I have two kids? I'm terrible at it.
No, yeah, clearly the pull-out game is weak with you. I know.
It's super weak.
Shame.
Oh no.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So we got somebody in the back room here. Hold on a second. H Barts with a $5 super chat says, "Where did Doom Sock come from, and how did he get popular? Wannabe Flash Gordon villain." That's that's a real good question.
He came from Matt Jarbo's weak pullout game.
You know what?
Oh, brother.
Oh wow!
And what a pullout game it was. Wow.
Who was Saggy flirting with the other day? Who was she like super thirsty over in the stream? It was over some guy. You were just like, I mean that GIF or that video clip was basically you if you ever met him.
What? What are we talking about? I'm sorry, that was too much. I couldn't resist. I'm so sorry, but I couldn't resist that joke.
Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. William, what's going on, William?
Hi, William.
What did I come into?
You know what? I'm not.
Same thing.
I heard pull out game, and then I saw the wave. I'm almost afraid to ask.
Matt Jarbo's here. That's all you need to ever know.
It goes like this.
Thunder.
It's like this.
That guy lands on his feet always impresses me. No matter how many times I see that.
I gotta behave now because William's here. Hi, William. How was your Easter? How have you been?
Fine. Why would you have to behave on my account?
Oh man, I missed it. I almost blew you up right as you were shaking your head, Jarbo.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was gonna get back on there.
No, I don't succumb to peer pressure.
Oh, okay.
That's a lie.
Tizai says, William, please make some sense of this stream. It's madness, I tell you.
Is this like one of the ones where what's that one guy, Anthony, the I love cock but I hate the taste stream?
Oh, Tony. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That was legend. That was legend.
I think
if I had the guts, I would make a t-shirt of that, but I don't think I can do that. You can have that one, Jarbo.
Yeah, you can have that. Jarbo would take that. I know he would.
I made a meme about that actually, but I think I deleted it because it wasn't my best work, and yeah, I deleted it.
I hurt myself that night laughing.
Oh, everyone did.
Yes.
That was
funny.
That was Tony.
catching that when I caught it, and Tony was like, "Oh no."
I know.
Especially when you caught it, the way you caught it, he's like, "Did you guys just see what was on the screen just now?" And
The
then
best part
jumps
is he
on,
thought he caught it and nobody saw it, and we're like, we all saw, we remember.
I remember. I remember.
So,
For sure.
what's the topics? What have I missed so far besides
So-
the installation stuff?
So we're talking about a couple of things. We talked about Godzilla versus Kong, and what's that?
I saw that.
Yep. So we saw that, but also I did point out the fact that Legendary came out and actually, I don't know, it's a crazy notion. They actually wanted to support the movie that that they have coming out with Godzilla versus Kong, and actually tweeted about it. Did you guys see the tweet about restore the MonsterVerse
from
trending?
Legendary?
Yeah. So so basically they said hey, we're so happy that that this is trending, and hey, that's a positive thing. And I've seen a lot of very positive Snyderverse supporters supporting that, and rightfully so.
What's behind that, don't you?
What's that?
Why Legendary is supporting it right now? That movie would have never been made if based on Godzilla King of the Monsters box office. If it hadn't been for the fact that Godzilla versus Kong was already pretty much in production and pretty much on its way to being done, I don't think that movie would have been greenlit if it had just been based on King of the Monsters, because they considered that a disappointment. That's why you see these Netflix shows and stuff like that, like Skull Island and all those things. That's why you don't see them on HBO Max or under Warner Media, because they weren't really quick to sign on any additional ones because they didn't know if there would be anything beyond Godzilla versus Kong. So now when you see these numbers coming out, the numbers are going to speak for themselves. So now everybody's going to get behind it, which is good. But at the time of this movie was being made, everybody I talked to, everybody, because we promoted it and we're giving away tons of tickets for it, thought that this was going to be the last one, because it would not have been made if it would have just been based on Godzilla King of the Monsters' success, or lack of, in their eyes. So I'm glad to see it come out of the gates and do as well as it's doing. It's a solid movie. It was fun to watch. It wasn't as predictable as the two previous movies were, and I'm glad to see. And plus, Legendary now is trying to is sliding back into the good graces of Warner Media, because remember, they went to war a couple of months ago about this whole day in and day out plan, and they weren't too happy about that. They thought that Keelar was out to kill the theaters, which even on his face sounded silly, because there's just too much money to be made in the cinemas. So they were very angry. Christopher Nolan was angry about it. Denis Villeneuve was angry about it, and Legendary in general was angry about it. And they came to that deal to where they paid them as much as Netflix had offered them, and Warner Brothers had the veto power of that deal, because Netflix offered to take Kong vs. Godzilla onto their stream, and Warner Brothers said no. So they went to battle over that. Now look where we're at. A couple months later, movie's doing well. Legendary's tweeting about it, which is great, because I think that relationship needs to continue.
It's just interesting to me that it's like 15,000 people tweet, continue the MonsterVerse, and they get behind it and they're like, yes, awesome, this is trending. 1.5 million people tweet in 24 hours last week about the Snyderverse, and not a peep.
It wasn't over. It was over the span of a week. It wasn't 24 hours. I've seen that. Well, I've seen people say 24 hours. It wasn't.
It was. It set the record. It officially set the record, because Endgame had the record before at 1.4 million, and they set the record at 1.5 million. That was the record.
Not in 24 hours, though.
Yeah,
not 24
it was in
hours.
24 hours. That's
I know, because I looked this up the other day. Because it's not 24 hours. It hit that amount, definitely hit the amount, but it wasn't done over the span of just a day.
Now it's done over 2 million, I think.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not saying it hasn't done well. I'm saying like that 24-hour number is not accurate.
But anyway, the Legendary's one company with one hierarchy. Yeah. And they're basically a client, or they have a client customer service deal pretty much with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is one company with a bunch of different territories. It's like the United States. You have different states and they got their different governors and everything else. That's what Warner Brothers is. And there's one president. You're never going to see Warner Brothers Studio promote anything like that is strengthening a streaming service that's pretty much going to make them not extinct, but it's going to drag them kicking into a new reality that they just can't really cope with right now. And you're not going to see any changes until you see new CEOs of Warner Brothers that are brought in through the streaming reality. Right now, Ann Sornoff and Hamada, all these guys came in and came up through a reality that does not include streaming as being a major leverage point. So if they back it, they figure, okay, well, when the billions come out to greenlight these projects, our stuff isn't going to get greenlit as much because HBO Max now is taking a quarter of our budget. We're not going to be able to make these $200-300 million blockbusters and use that leverage with agents and stars and everybody else because that money's going through HBO Max. So they're never going to just cede their territory like that. That's why they're not supporting it outright. It's not their division. They're fighting for the same budget. They're all basically fighting Warner Media for the same budget to get their projects made. So yeah, you're not going to do that.
Real quick, because Hugo's leaving with a £5 super chat. Thank you, Hugo. Says, I'm going now. Nice to hang out with you all. Much love. Hashtag brings Zatanna to the Snyderverse. Hashtag bring the Meg to the Monsterverse. And Gamera too. Love it, man. Yes.
Actually, I might have been wrong about the 1 day thing. I thought I read that it wasn't, so my mistake. But I can't.
It reached 1.4 and within a give or take 3 hours of the first day, because I remember I had the trending.
Well, okay.
So Hugo, this is for your super chat, but this is also for Matt Jarbo.
Is that his dog?
What the? There goes Santa. Oh.
The bottom line is, it did trend well enough.
Yeah. Well, because I'm seeing conflicting reports now where it's like it was 600,000 tweets going into March 26th, and then on March 26th it then crossed over the 1.5 million. So it still did a lot in a day, but it definitely was like not all in one day. I think that's like the best way. So optics are optics, like F it, but
yeah. And see, and another thing is that I keep seeing people come up with, hey, how come so and so didn't support the Snyder Cut, or certain actors or actors did, even though they're all under Warner Media. Different, what we discussed before, different contracts and different rules and different obligations affect Warner Brothers proper that don't affect HBO or HBO Max. These guilds and these unions and all that, it's completely different. Even the Screenwriters Guild has different sets of rules for motion pictures and things that go from motion picture to stream and all that. Then they have to abide by a lot of that. So it really is a separate, fragmented company right now, especially now because it's just now coming into this era. I mean, 6 years from now, we're going to be having a stream like, wow, remember when Warner Media looked like a puzzle that was thrown down on the ground? And now look at it. It's going to take time to consolidate this whole thing. But right now, you're dealing with a fragmented company, and this is the kind of results we get. I mean, it's no surprise that Legendary could do something and that Warner Brothers themselves didn't. No surprise at all.
No, I agree.
Yeah. I just look at it like this. I don't understand why people. I mean, I do, but that's the problem is it's really sad that they can't just support the thing. And I understand why, but it's just frustrating, when you see other companies supporting their things and we've talked about it before, where it's like every other movie that comes out, it doesn't matter. Like if it was the only comedy starring, a dude who wears a clown nose that came out, on a particular weekend, they would, these companies would come out with, hey, it's the #1 comedy with a guy wearing a clown nose in the entire country, like go see this movie.
But think about that though. Think about that. So say I'm the boss of, I'm Ann Sornoff, right? And I got thousands of jobs under me. I have contracts with AMC I've negotiated with. I have contracts with all these people. Every inch of those things are going to be affected the more territory I cede. So okay, so say for instance, just give me any big IP that Warner Brothers has, and say they decide, you know what, it's more beneficial for us to take that IP, that intellectual property, and put it on HBO Max first, and then put it in the theaters. Now, the way she sees it, it takes away the negotiating powers that they have with the theaters and the percentages and everything else, and it really affects their bottom line from top to bottom, and they're dealing with a separate budget. So you're basically disintegrating your company if you think about it. But it's going to happen. The same thing she's got to realize, and all those guys at Warner Brothers, is it may be unfortunate for them, but the streaming genie's out of the bottle. It's not going back in. And the people on the streaming side have the advantage because they can create the base of the company and distribute to anybody from there. You can, like I was saying, you can put the HBO Max stuff on IMAX. You can put, but you can't go the other way without giving up, a lot. You can't go from the big screen to HBO Max first and still have the same advantages that the streaming content does. And we're in a streaming war. I mean, HBO Max is competing with Disney Plus, Hulu. I mean, there's just, that battle is more important than anything.
Can I ask a question? Has who here saw the Sonic movie?
I did.
Oh yeah,
it was good.
Okay,
it was good.
I'm sure really a lot of people in the chat might have. Now here's the thing. Remember when they dropped? Do you remember when they dropped the first Sonic the Hedgehog trailer and how absolutely livid everyone was? And what did they do? They said, "Okay, we hear you. We'll fix it." And what did they do? They came back and gave us a better Sonic. And people who probably were like, when they heard the story, I know some people who were like, you know what? I didn't even have any interest in seeing that movie. But when that studio went above and beyond to say, okay, we'll fix it. We're listening to you. And they did that. People went to go see the movie for the sheer principle that a movie company actually listened to their fans when they were upset about something. Now, WB, can't you just throw your fans a bone? I respect film companies and any company that listens to the consumers and at least tries to make us happy. Now, they did let us have something, and we were happy. And they should have seen how successful that was and been like, wow, we did something that made the fans happy. We should probably milk this some more and make them happy more. Why won't they do it? Because, again, they cannot be proven wrong. And if they admit to being wrong, they have to make more movies that they don't want to do.
Personally, I don't want to see them make more movies. I don't want to see them because here's the thing. The audience that they're going to try to please, the general audience that's not us sitting in the screening room, is the type of audience that may compromise the vision that we're looking for, whereas HBO Max's platform will not. I say it over and over again. I don't want to see any more Snyder content on the big screen unless it's coming from an originating source of HBO Max. That's it. I don't want to see any more. And it's not just Warner Brothers too, because we have your audience base with HBO Max is much more confined and refined. They know what their customer is. Like I said, you look at look at all the stuff in the last 15 years that's been on HBO, Leftovers, Sopranos, and even Showtime, and these content people are narrowed down. When you go to the big screen, you're dealing with everybody. You're dealing with the family. You're dealing with everybody's different interpretations of the same superhero. When you get to the smaller screen, you have a lot more freedom because there's a lot less risk. You're not spending $300 million for 3 hours of content. You may be spending $300 million for an entire 12 seasons. Not everybody liked Game of Thrones. In fact, a lot of people hated the eighth seasons of the last couple episodes. But guess what? When it's streaming, it doesn't matter. The volume you're talking about with streaming is content as far as who's watching, are they talking about it, and are they coming back? So those rules make it easier and give you different types of freedoms than you cannot have on the big screen. The big screen is more of a risk for everybody, including the consumer, because like I said, if I'm spending 40, 50, 60 bucks to take a family or whatever to a movie, I'm more akin to look at Rotten Tomatoes and see what some others have thought about it, or I'm listening to people who I shouldn't be listening to because I'm taking a dive with my money. On HBO Max, if I don't like it, I just click to something else.
Right,
All right, so
William,
I've
I
cut
do
this
I
up.
I do have an important question that has been nitpicking me because you're very smart and articulate, and I want to get your thoughts on this because I've asked this question a few times, so I want to just see what you think about it. So since Warner Brothers initially had Zack start the film, and they wanted him to do it initially, do you have any idea maybe why all of a sudden, since he couldn't do it the rest of it and they gave it to Joss, why they gave him such a hard time? It's like they hired him to initially do it, so why was it such a pain in the butt for him to finish it or do the cut or even do more? Why would they hire him initially if they weren't going to have him do any more pro movies?
The people who initially hired him did it based on Christopher Nolan, who had a lot of clout in Warner Brothers. And at the time Zack Snyder was brought in, Marvel hadn't become the billion-dollar machine that it had. They had success, but the people who had hired him weren't yet being judged by Marvel's success yet. When Man of Steel came out in 2013, you had just had the Avengers movie, and that's where everything hit its zenith. But in the development leading up to that, which started in 2011, you weren't measuring Zack Snyder and Justice League and anything else up against anything yet. You were basically going on Christopher Nolan's word, and he had just given you The Dark Knight Rises, and he had just delivered his own, couple billions to you. As Marvel started to progress, especially after Disney bought them, as Marvel started to progress, the people who are further and further away from the IP started judging the IP based on other factors that were not within their company. So as that progressed with Batman versus Superman, they thought that Batman versus Superman should have pulled in $1 billion just based on the fact that those two are alone, which is not true because Superman Returns had that same guy with the S, and it didn't bring in that kind of money. And the original the Batman Returns didn't pull in that kind of money initially. So you had Kevin Ishihara, and you had and then you had Jeff Johns in there, and they basically wanted what Marvel had, even without having to look within their own company to recognize what they could do to become. They would have become $1 billion movie company. The DCEU is ready to do that. The problem is they have to do it on their own parameters, and Kevin Ishihara is not. He was a great film guy on his own, and so is Walter Hamada, but they're being told that you have to do this. And then on that end, not only did you have the executive looking over and seeing what Marvel was doing, you had fans at that time that thought they were rooting for a sports team instead of going into superhero movies, and they were putting on pressure. A lot of those people who bombed Zack Snyder's movies were never going to see Zack Snyder's movie. They were either Marvel marks who basically worked their way in at a time where all the executives were looking at them, or you had old school DC guys who were never going to let go of their grandfather Superman. So all this was happening at once. You had the executives having goofy expectations. You had the toxic fandom growing and creating a presence on all levels. And then you had these movies making what they made. And you got to realize Man of Steel made $668 million. You had Batman versus Superman made $858 million. So you're progressing up to the point where you would have gotten to the point that they wanted to be. They just didn't want to wait, and they listened to the wrong people because Kevin Feige, he is what he is, but he knows who to listen to, and the people who employ him know to listen to him because of that. You look at Hamada. You don't know who he's listening to. He's listening to Jeff Johns, and Jeff Johns is an excellent storyteller. The problem is he's not an excellent filmmaker, and they don't have that. They don't have that unity right now. So when they hired Zack, they weren't under the pressures that they were by the time BVS hit the screen.
No, I think I just posted it. I think we could all just like listen to William like forever. By the way, William has an awesome comic book shop, and we were talking about it this weekend. And William, you want to tell people where people can find your comic book shop online?
They can find me at the sci-fi-center.com, or if you just Google the Sci-Fi Center, all of our social media is right there. All of our Instagram, Twitter, Vero, even TikTok on certain occasions because I do some silly stuff on there too. But it's all to promote the store, though, so you won't ever see me doing anything embarrassing.
Yeah. So if you wonder where all that knowledge comes from, this guy knows his stuff. A couple of things, and we could continue this conversation. I just want to get to this real quick. Gavin Cooley, thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. Says Enosh, you're great. Thank you, Gavin. You're pretty cool yourself. Says you should check out Invincible. I want to check out Invincible. Invincible is on my list of stuff. I've seen a couple of commercials now, and people have been telling me about it. Have any of you guys checked out Invincible yet?
Haven't had a chance.
No.
I'm just hearing good things about it, and the commercials that I've seen, like on videos and stuff, seem really really well done. And so I didn't read the comic, but this has me intrigued. I'm interested in what Invincible is for sure. And
by the way, can I just say real quick, William, can you just be my lawyer? I would really appreciate
I'm an
you.
idiot. You would be in jail. You would be convicted. No, you don't
I
want me as a
feel like
lawyer.
you would talk your way out of any crime I commit.
Well, no, because this is, if you look at it, every question that comes up, we've all lived through it. If you want to know how the DCEU is going to come out, look at what Star Trek is now. Star Trek is gone.
Now you're talking Brian's language.
Thing.
He perked up real quick.
Yeah, Star Trek has gone through the same thing because of you have different generations of fandom, and you have one production company or one production element that has to decide who they're going to listen to, or if it's even worth it to jump in. There was I remember when UPN first came out, and it was a weak network to begin with, but they didn't have the power to stand up against a lot of the stuff that was coming their way. And we were doing promotions back for them when Enterprise first hit. Enterprise, if you want to look at who not to listen to in regards to fandom, listen to the hell that they got from the Star Trek fans that has sailed that entire show, that has sailed Brandon Braga and all those guys, because they just couldn't. No one had any patience to see a story told through, and that's your main problem. Is these production companies get nervous because certain fandoms do not have the discipline to see a story through, and Star Trek was a key element. I mean, there is no. I will tell you, there's nothing will choke the life out of Star Trek than its own fans in some cases, especially the older generation.
Very, very true.
And I'm a Star Trek fan, diehard. Been watching it, since I was a kid. My dad brought me into the repeats, and so I enjoyed it all. But you have these people who go by the book, the Bible of Roddenberry, and think that nothing can evolve. Everything has to revolve around these set of rules, and this wasn't his vision. You know what? He had to turn it over to Rick Berman and those guys to save the show and keep it going. Like I said before, if it wasn't for Best of Both Worlds, we're talking about a Star Trek: The Next Generation that probably ends before 4 seasons. They took it in a direction and evolved it, and they just went and did it. And that's what DC needs to do. They just need to do things and take the heat. And somebody, I think it was John Campia, he says, you know what, these films are great and he enjoyed them, but they were divisive. And I typed in, I actually spent money to super chat into the show. I'm like, just because something is divisive, so what? Pick a side. And you get, your success comes from whether you're able to pick the winning side. And that's what Star Trek finally did. Star Trek finally did that. And now you got shows coming on. You got Strange New Worlds. You have Discovery. You have a lot of content now. You went 12 years without Star Trek on TV because no production company wanted to deal with the headache that those fans represented. And finally, they just did it. J.J. Abrams, he busted through. He had enough credibility to where he could look at a toxic fan and said, you know what, go jump off a cliff. I'm going to do this. And he did it. And now you have Star Trek. We have new shows. We have Picard. We have Section 31. Strange New World might end up being my favorite show based on the fact that I love that guy that played Pike, and I love every episode that he was in. But that's where DCEU is going to end up. So you're either going to have to shed the old school fans that you were listening to before, because they're not coming to see your movies. And if it's divisive, and that's where HBO Max, I'm not going to take too much, but that's where HBO Max works, because they can put on divisive content and they don't care. They don't have to care. There's no box office receipts that's going to affect them. All right, us talking about it on Monday us constantly streaming about it. Even the people who hate it, they're going in, they're talking about it, they're hashtagging, and when it comes to streaming, there's no such thing as bad publicity. You just need to let people know that your content is there. But that's where this DC thing is going to end up. It's going to end up in the right hands eventually, because at some point somebody's going to have to say, "This is a Superman we're going to do for here. This is a Superman you're going to do over here. Pick one. Pick one. We're going to take your money out of both pockets. All you got to do is pick a side. And we'll take the wallet out of the left pocket or the right pocket. We don't care. That's what they got to do. They got to be greedy. WB is not the Warner entity is not greedy enough to at this point. They need to be greedier.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Silent Scotty here with our Discord. So yes, join our Discord. Silent Scotty has done an amazing job setting up this Discord, folks. People are loving it. People are having a great time over there, just chatting and getting involved and sharing stuff. There are so many channels over there, folks. There are channels for your artwork if you're an artist and you want to share your artwork with everybody. There's channels, all of the channels that we stream with and are friends with. They all pop up so you can turn notifications on. And so, sometimes YouTube doesn't always give you the notifications for people when they stream, but our Discord will, and it will tell you when all of our friends are streaming, and including this channel. And then also, there's fun stuff on there. Cylon's like showing old TGIF programming from back in the day on Friday nights, and then cartoons on Saturday. He's doing a fabulous job with his Discord. So yes, go check out our Discord for sure. And then, yeah, go, we posted the link. I think a few of us posted the link now. We posted it like 3 times now in there. And you guys all talk about how much you love William and everything. William is fantastic. So go support him, man. Go support him, guys. And show him some love for sure by visiting the sci-fi center.com and go show him some love, because he definitely knows his stuff. The other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight, and we can still talk about DC stuff too, but it's Zack Snyder related, and that is, are you guys looking forward to Army of the Dead?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, not in the same way as I'm looking forward to his other content, because this is gonna, I've seen
Army of the Dead, right?
Yeah, I've seen every zombie movie that's come out. And at some point, my head hurts. But because Dave Bautista's in it and it's Zack Snyder, I'm gonna. If this were anybody else making this movie, I would just write it off as another zombie movie. Oh, it's in Vegas. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I see it. But because it's his take on it, I'm gonna give it a try. And plus, the last thing I watched Dave Bautista in, and I don't count Guardians of the Galaxy, is Blade Runner 2049, and his 7 minutes in there set the tone for a 2 hour and 49-minute movie. And that's the best stuff he's ever done. The 7 minutes that he did in Blade Runner as Sapper Morton is the best stuff Dave Bautista's ever done. So I'm looking forward to it.
low-key was waiting for Enosh to get to this, because I love zombie movies. I love zombie games. I loved Dawn of the Dead. I didn't even remember or even know that Zach did Dawn of the Dead. So when I heard he did it, no, I didn't know that. When I found out, I was like,
you mean the remake of Dawn of the Dead?
Oh, man, the remake. Yeah, I love the remake, and I love.
Did you ever see the original?
I did see the original. I prefer the second one.
Real quick, I do want to, because H Bart's gave a $2 super chat, and so I want to bring this up. H Bart's asks, is Matt streaming later?
Yeah, I'm streaming in like 10 minutes. So I set it up on there. So what? I wasn't on. Like, I felt like kind of crappy last night, so I just stayed in and didn't do anything.
I did too. I think yesterday was just bad. My back was all messed up. I went to bed at 10 o'clock at night. I was feeling like
on a Saturday.
Yeah. On a Saturday, right?
I was up late, but I was playing video games. I lost track of time, and I was like, it was 2:45 in the morning. I'm like, I should probably go to bed because it's Easter, and I had to get up with my kids and do the parenting thing.
Well, here's for H Bart.
I feel pretty sorry for the next guy who looks at me funny.
What about that guy?
Wait, was that transphobic against Miss Piggy?
Oh,
get out! Go do your stream. Bye, my Jabba.
Enosh, what are you doing? Are you trying to get canceled, Enosh? I mean, I know you're slumming it with Saggy. We all get that, but like,
I cannot express my anger right now. It's through the roof. through the roof. I'm telling you, it's through the roof. It's like long gone. But still, don't do that. Stop.
Coming in with Saggy. What did I miss? Whoa.
What did I do?
The first half of this show must have been like the cold open on Saturday Night Live.
Right, Salt. You see how he bullies me, y'all? Do you see how Matt Jarble picks on me all the time? I did nothing to this man, and he's so mean to me.
What's your avatar?
What are you talking about? That's
your
art.
avatar there?
It's art.
What's your avatar there? Are you a little
Jarble,
thirsty?
it's art. No,
Want me to send you some water?
No, it's
Want me to-
beautiful. Look at you. You're beautiful.
Do you want some aqua purificata?
I made you a beautiful e-girl. Why can't you accept it?
Because
Looks
that's
like
not
a
what
cult leader.
You're beautiful. Matt Jarble.
I'm missing the gem on my head. That's the
You
thing.
look like
Oh,
the
yeah,
Heaven's
that's true.
Gate leader.
You're beautiful. Why can't you just accept I made you beautiful?
That's such an interesting story. That guy. Anyway.
Did someone say something about a cult leader?
Oh boy, here we
There's
go.
only room for one cult leader in this place.
You didn't even put the Ultimate
No,
Warrior, man.
continue.
I know. I couldn't even be bothered.
He's like,
There we go. Yes, yes. Matt Job.
wow. But yeah,
What?
I'm looking forward to Army of the Dead. Sort of.
You've been
String on the
shunned,
outside.
cult leader. What the heck is that on your? What is that?
It's
the string.
Oh.
String. That's what I said. I couldn't even be bothered to put the. It's just-
Wow.
Never mind.
This low energy cult leader.
Great, low energy cult leader. Needs his insulin shot. He's
Cult
low
leader after dark. Like, it's Easter weekend. I'm letting down my hair.
That's what all cult leaders would be if they just smoked weed instead of did everything else.
We don't have, hold on. We don't have a history, guys. I want to make it clear. Me, Matt Jarbo, don't have a history. He just likes to bully me. I don't know what I did. I made him beautiful, and he's mad about me making him beautiful. It's like I gave him a makeover, and he didn't like it.
Look, this woman and I are not affiliated.
I'm not
I feel very
affiliated.
odd with her taking my image and using it as an avatar. I feel threatened and violated. But you know,
At least your eyes aren't glowing.
Yeah, not yet though, not yet.
Well, you say that, but you don't even. I won't even begin to tell you what I actually do with these pictures. So
I don't like. Okay, first,
oh my,
Are we
wow,
reaching plunger
saggy
territory
melons
now?
after dark. Is that what's happening here?
no, I just may have an OnlyFans that just features all of the deep fakes of you.
oh my.
That's gonna be a very interesting. Can I get the
now the
link
eyes
to
are
that
glowing.
then? Because I would like to see myself in compromising positions.
Just to answer this
I need
question
the link so I can block
again.
it.
We have William.
Wow.
We have William. That's all.
I always
that's
wanted
all
to be
you-
in porn.
all you
I guess
need.
I don't know.
All you need.
You've always
Yeah.
wanted to be in porn, dude. Yeah.
This is gonna be the closest I come. I guess I don't know.
Wait, what?
Well, it won't
I
be the
missed that.
closest
Whoa,
you
wait,
come.
it's- Whoa,
It
whoa,
will-
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh my.
I mean,
whoa!
you will.
Oh, you had to
What were
come
you
back to the
doing?
screen for
Hold
that?
on. Brian shows up for what? Like, all of a sudden, I look over at. What are you doing? Oh, all I saw was this
Yeah.
motion. I was like, what is Brian doing over here?
No, I was going like this with my shirt.
Brian's like, I
It's
accidentally
spicy.
clicked the button. I accidentally clicked the button.
Ah. Hiding now.
Someone is gonna meme that. They're gonna meme that, and they're just gonna make it.
Maybe the avatars are the safest way to go these days. You never
It
know.
really is. It really is.
Just don't want people to see.
I
you're
have
really-
to because otherwise Saggy disobsesses over me, and I'm also
How
not
dare
wearing
you?
pants.
Yeah, you're the
So
one who
that's a-
obsesses over yourself. He's like, I want to see myself in compromised positions. I bet you Google yourself too, Matt Jarbo, don't you?
Not so much anymore.
Oh, not anymore, but you did for a while. I don't believe you. I feel like you.
Do you
Google
do
every
realize
day.
that like anyone who works in the entertainment field like actually Googles himself, right? Like you do know that.
Makes sense.
Everyone does it. Donald Glover has admitted to doing it.
You have to.
Don't
Analytics.
project your other people into your weird. I gotta look myself up thing over here. I see what you're doing here. See what you're doing.
I mean, do you ever go on Twitter and just look up Saggy Mel? Wait, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do
Oh,
that.
if you do it without
Don't
the
do
C,
that.
you're in trouble.
Yeah, you got to make sure all
you gotta
media
have
is
that
turned
B.
off.
It'll change your life.
I
if you
feel like
don't.
Matt
All the
went to
plungers
type
here,
in my
please.
name one time, and he typed it with an S, and he just never left that page.
Saggy,
No,
I'm
but I did
building
look
a
up
team of
Gaggy
warriors.
Melons, and that was a mistake.
So what
Yeah,
were the other topics? What else did I miss before I was still
So Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead's amazing. I'm excited.
It looks pretty cool. I want to see it. I mean,
I'm not even I'll be honest with you. I'm not even I'm not usually into zombie movies, but this actually looks good.
It looks like a heist movie too. That's what another thing
and it's in Vegas, and since I'm originally from Vegas, I dig that too. So
I might have to give this a gander. Usually, I'm not a zombie movie person.
Right. Remind me, the Dawn of the Dead one was they were in the mall, right? Because now that I know Zach made that and I'm remembering the movie, I was like, damn, Zach, you had some really messed up stuff that went down in that movie, like a zombie baby and stuff. It was really dark and weird, but I loved it. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see like the sequel to this. And like, yeah, it is a beautiful day. I mean, it's night, but it's a day. But I can't wait. I'm excited. I love zombie movies. I think this is going to be a really great film. And if Zach's doing it, even better. And I think everyone should go support Zach and watch Army of the Dead.
I have a feeling that's not going to be a problem for his fan base.
No.
I mean, they've already greenlit a prequel, which was shot late last year. And then they also are working on an animated series.
Yeah, but it definitely increases his leverage between him and HBO Max, though, because his brand name is taking off, and if they see it taking off in a competing stream, they may just want to gobble him up and give him what he wants to do.
Your handle is a zombie. That's
because you broke it off and it's dead now.
That's fine, but it came back to life, which means it can still provide service to somebody. You know, I mean, if anything, it can double as like. I mean, it can double as a phallic.
No.
That plunger is the gift that keeps on giving.
I did not say anything. You censored me before I could make a joke, and that is,
you should be censored.
So are you saying that you should flag me?
Yeah, she's
Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't mean like that. No, shush. I didn't mean censor like that. I mean, he should come with his
And
own
you came
little
after
censor
Max so hard yesterday. Oh my goodness.
Listen, I'm not saying censor like that. I'm saying he should come with his own little, that little thing that bleeps out when you swear? Matt Jarbo needs one of those. So when he says weird stuff, it just bleeps.
I'm not on my stream, so I keep it very PG so Enosh doesn't lose monetization.
We had a whole stream where you talked about your time in strip clubs. And
yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So it's just okay. Well,
what?
And actually, that was very lucrative.
It wasn't the whole stream.
It wasn't the whole stream. Yeah, like I was talking about my history of attending strip clubs in San Diego. Where
game tonight. Like what else?
I have made jokes about making a map of Hawaii on her stomach. I'm just saying.
You. Oh my god!
I imagine it's better than the Sacramento strip club because those are just sad.
I went to a Frisco one once, and it was very weird.
No, Matt Jarbo did
a lot of ivy.
It was Matt Jarbo. He took over the stream. Every time he does it. He was bullying me.
So wasting money.
So if Yan here asks, how many strip club stories do you have? Oh, dude, I have a bunch.
Oh, please, no.
I used to look. I used to know the managers of a bunch of clubs, and when I ran for governor of California, they would use that celebrity to have me come and vote on like Miss Spring Break pageants and things like that. They were like, we need the rock governor of San Diego. So yeah, that's I have a lot of stories, good, bad, and the other. But this is not the place for those stories. This is a movie chat about movie stuff.
We can make a movie about your stories.
Yeah. Should I go and like do a 148 tweet thread like Zola? Get that made into a movie?
Do it.
You threw your hat into the governor race?
Wait, what?
I said, did you throw your hat into the governor race?
Yeah. 2003.
Oh, dude.
In 2003, I did.
I worked at the Secretary of State's office that year. Like in
that must have been nuts. That must have been nuts.
It was insane, man.
Yeah.
We got so many things for a recall, and it was like, oh my god, dude.
Oh, well, I won a radio station contest out of San Diego, and they wanted me to be the rock governor of San Diego.
Nice.
So I was like 21 years old, and they're picking me up in limousines and like taking me to Hooters.
we need a Matt Jarbo movie made, people.
Yes.
Can we get that? Can we start what do they call that thing? A Kickstarter. We need a Kickstarter for a Matt Jarbo movie being made with all of his amazing stories. So you don't have to keep asking him to tell his stripper stories. You can watch it on
I want to be in that movie.
All it is, Saggy, is they're just happy that I have something to talk about, unlike some people.
We just broke into
There you go.
California history, man.
Enosh
California
is
history,
Matt
guys.
Jarbo in the Matt Jarbo story.
Right? We won't even cast Matt Jarbo in his own movie. We'll cast
Kevin Smith.
we'll cast
Kevin
Enosh.
Smith. Kevin Smith. That's who's got to play me.
I could be Matt Jarbo. I could be Matt Jarbo.
That's got to in the Gamergate movie. We wanted Kevin Smith to play me. That's how that was going to go. So.
And did you say who are you talking about? Who doesn't have anything interesting? I have stories. I just don't tell them because they're not
interesting. I get it.
Well, no, they are.
I get it.
It's also very weird.
And my strip club stories aren't.
Okay.
Nothing that's gone on here.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go so Saggy can talk, and I'm gonna go and do my stream. Hollywood After Dark. You guys are more than welcome to come by, except for Saggy. It's a no Saggy's club.
How dare you? Stay.
Because she's
Stay, boy.
got mental issues, but we love her
I kissed
anyway.
an iron.
What? You kissed an iron?
When I was a kid, yeah. I kissed an iron when I was a child and burned my
Was
lips.
it hot?
Yes, it was. It burned my lips.
You do you, boo, right?
Yeah, when I was a kid, that happened. I kissed an iron.
Wow.
I burned my lips. My mom was mad, but with my uncle was a little a-hole because I didn't have siblings growing up. So I had my uncle who was close to my age, and he was with his friend, and he thought it'd be funny to be like, oh yeah, go kiss Mr. Iron. So me being a little child was like, okay. And I went into the other room and kissed a hot iron and burned my lips. And my mom was so mad. She beat the crap out of my uncle. But yeah, that's a true story. I kissed an iron. See? My story is just as good, Matt Jarbo.
I kissed an iron just to try it. The taste of its distilled water.
I have nothing to add to this.
That's yeah. All right, I'm gonna go.
Here's for H Bart with the $2 super chance. Matt Jarbo will be played by Tom Holland. Tastes like sugar. Yum. Stripper.
Yes.
Actually, Peter Rabbit's defender wants Jonah Hill to play you.
Oh.
Better than. Oh, I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming. Josh Gad.
Oh, you know what? I would be okay with Josh Gad playing me in a movie. It would be the weirdest thing ever. It would just be like, "Hi, I'm Josh Gad playing Matt Jarbo."
Animated plunger or something.
Yeah. Have you guys heard the story of the great plunger of Dartmouth? Well done. All right.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I love when Matt comes. It's fun. We have good banter.
I feel spent. I feel spent.
I low key love Matt. He's always fun.
Oh, I know. Oh, I love Matt.
That was a little slice of history because I worked at the state capitol during the recall election in 2003. It was nuts. I had to they had a big districting issue between elections because they just had one in 2002, and that was huge. So sorry.
Did you kiss an iron too, Brian?
Wow. What's that?
Did you kiss an iron too, Brian, when you were doing that?
No, but I did grab a curling iron by the hot part one time.
Ooh, that hurts too.
Yeah, that sucked.
Good story.
But anyways,
you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
Yeah, no. As far as Army of the Dead, I'm not much of a zombie guy, but I will watch this because I'm intrigued as well. The heist angle of it seems really interesting. So, is
it gonna be a sequel to Dawn of the Dead? Because they left that on a little cliffhanger there.
Nah, this is completely separate.
Oh, it's completely separate. So they're
completely separate, different. Yeah, this is gonna be its own thing, its own little franchise. It looks like a lot of fun, and Netflix has a lot of faith in him. And like I said, his demographic fits as everything Netflix could ask for. And if HBO Max really understands it, it's everything they could ask for. I mean, he literally ticks off all the check boxes that you need for a streaming service, because streaming services have everything. You have for your kids, you can sit your kids in front of it. And certain ones you have Looney Tunes, you have all that, but then you have the adults. And then you have the adults that want to see the serial killer stuff, that want to see, the TNA stuff. They have so much of a broad audience to please. They need content right now. Yeah. And I just can't believe I would lose money betting against that. They haven't already greenlit something like that. Just the announcements, all these Twitter things that we've been doing, and him getting on there, leaving these cryptic messages. I think somebody's negotiating in the background right now, and
Oh,
we
yeah,
just
I'm
can't
sure.
know about it. You know.
I don't like
So
the poster.
yeah, but if I'm HBO Max, then like I said, no matter what the numbers that they release are, they're not going to matter. The numbers that Warner Brothers releases are not going to matter because we as fans really don't have the understanding and the capacity to appreciate those numbers relative to the company that we would be running. You know, so there's certain things that HBO Max is looking for, you know, criteria that they're looking for to make this a success or not, that is not relevant to a fanboy or a pundit or, you know, anybody else. So we can look at the set of numbers that they have and be like, wow, that looks like Greek to us. And then they're looking at it, you know, doing backflips. So there's that conversation that's probably being had too.
Yeah, I don't like the poster though. I'm gonna be first one to say it because first time I saw it, I was like, "Is this
like Suicide Squad?"
Yeah,
That's exactly what I thought of. Honestly, that's exactly what I thought of.
Like when you look at it now, it's like, okay, we get it. It's in Las Vegas, gambling, cool. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Is this Suicide Squad? That doesn't look like Army of the Dead, really? That's okay, interesting."
I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that because that's exactly what I thought when I first saw it. I was like, oh, it reminds me a lot of Suicide Squad, the first one, the David Ayer Suicide Squad, or the lack of David Ayer Suicide Squad, like whatever you want to look at that now. But
I hope we get another poster because I don't like that.
Well,
one, to be honest with you.
The marketing is different though. I mean, this poster can suck, but it doesn't really when you're talking about Netflix or streaming, it's the trailers that's going to drive up. The trailers and the name brand is going to make this a success. Now, when I'm going to a movie and I'm going to see Star Wars, and I see a movie poster for something that's coming out in 4 or 5 months, that gets me jazzed in a different way. I'm in the theater, I'm looking at it, and that poster has to be kick ass. But for something on Netflix, that trailer is doing everything that this poster may or may not do. The trailers what got me going.
That's a good point, William, because that's another thing I forgot about. One thing I did like about going to the movie theaters is seeing the up and coming new release posters, because you would always see the posters up first for some of the new movies, and that's what I always look forward to, is going to the movie theater, browsing the halls to see the posters they have up for the new movies that are up and coming. That's
like the teasers, the teaser posters. Remember those?
Yeah, I
Oh,
love
yeah.
those. That was my favorite part of going to theater. I was like, oh, what movies are coming out? Because I want to see the posters. You just
Or
reminded
you
me
would see like an emblem. You wouldn't even see a complete, like for X-Files. When they released the X-Files movie, they just released the X-Files logo and the word fight. And each month they released a photo of one that said whatever the slogan was. It said "Fight the Future." When you released all 3 posters, and that was the tagline for the movie that's coming out. So when you're dealing in a theater, and that's what the biggest adjustment for not only the studios, it's going to be us fans, is adjusting to the fact that different strategies are going to be used for things that are going to start in streaming than they would in a box office. Winning and losing is going to be defined way different in this new era than it was in the old era. It's just going to be a different type of thing. And like I said, trailers and teasers and drops and people and filmmakers on Twitter, like Zach doing things on Twitter like he does. You can do that for something that's on streaming content. You might not get away with that. You would need a much larger budget to do something on a theater, because you got people who dump so much money into this movie that borrowed money. All movies are made on borrowed money for the most part. Legendaries, investors, all movies are made on borrowed money when you're talking about these big budget ones. So you have to go big on a movie screen. But for streaming services, because of the staying, especially a Netflix exclusive, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be there for a long time. It's not going to be a 31-day release, so you can do stuff. This poster right here, it's not impressive. But like I said, that trailer is. That trailer's important, and the fact that Justice League, I mean, everything else that's leading up to this, a quarter of the people who watch this are going to have watched Justice League about 10 times before, and this is just, we're going to gobble this up, man. So yeah, it's a poster Suicide Squad-ish, especially the skull and the diamond, but it is probably going to be like that movie, but in a Zack Snyder way. It looks over the top. It looks like a lot of fun.
I like this. Zach Jay here says Zach said there's going to be smart zombies. That's interesting to see. Maybe zombie societies and groups.
I mean, that depends. Like,
there's an Elvis zombie there, so.
Because I mean, if this is in the same universe as Dawn of the Dead, I mean, I don't know. Zombies were pretty stupid there, but that's gonna be an interesting take, I guess. I don't know how I feel. I've never got into the smart zombies thing. Like zombies are supposed to be dead. Their brains are supposed to only function for one purpose, which is hunger. So smart zombies is like Zach. I'm gonna put faith in you because I like what you do and I like the Dawn of the Dead, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of leeway with the smart zombies there, because I never liked smart zombies. They try to do it in so many zombie things, like they're not supposed to be smart. That's the whole point.
I Am Legend was probably the one that kind of whatever they were.
I don't consider those ones zombies though. They weren't really zombies. They were just like infected with something.
Yeah. Let's see, panel.
Yeah.
Very organized.
So Gavin Cooley, I think, brings up a cool thing that maybe we can end our evening on tonight. Says Enosh and panel, what was your favorite movie theater experience? Mine is a tie between Kylo's entrance in episode 7 and Cap with the hammer in Endgame were fire.
My favorite movie experience would be the first 3D movie I saw, which was I think it was one of the second to last Resident Evil or the Evil movie that they came out with. It was my first 3D movie, and it was actually really, really cool. We went into town, and I really enjoyed. And they had just redone the theater too, so it was nice and everything. And I even though the movie itself wasn't that great, it was my first 3D experience and my favorite because it was just so cool to see a movie in 3D, and it was just absolutely fun. Even though the movie was not that great, I still enjoyed myself.
That's a tough one. Well, okay, so it has nothing to do with the movie, but just the experience you had. Be honest with you, I would have to say the original Avengers movie, the 2012 one. Okay. The whole overall experience. I went, we promoted it, we had people dressed up, we were in line with people who were dressed up. I have a picture of that on one of my sites where I'm posing with these guys that had dressed up as kids' costumes. They were grown-ass men. They had the Hulk hands and the Thor thing that you got from the kids' costume, and they were all having a ball. And to me, that was the height of the MCU. Everything after that was just basically a ride that they were taking you on and that they knew they had you hooked on. That was, to me, the last 100%, along with the Captain America movies, the last movie that was just great for them. Everything else that they've done since then has been they know their narrative and they're going in that direction, and they don't care, what anybody thinks about it at this point, because everybody's going to eat it up. But that experience where it was a midnight screening and everybody was dressed up like we were like clowns, we were all cheering and everything else, and that was like the last one. And all my other movie experiences, I'm jaded because I've seen every horror movie, I've seen every science fiction movie. I have expectations that if this movie doesn't blow me away, then it's not any. The only thing that competes with the Avengers 2012 was Blade Runner 2049, and that was like being born again. That was like being baptized or something in the middle of the theater, because I saw the original Blade Runner in the theaters, and I consider myself as part of the religion of Blade Runner, and for that movie to blow, for me to surpass the original, in my opinion. That was probably matched with the Avengers. So those two right there would be mine.
I've got a couple. One that kind of sticks out, and I think it's really kind of it fits because I'm watching it tomorrow. 1996 in November. I was really, really excited when I saw Independence Day in the theaters that summer.
The original?
The original Independence Day. And what happened was they had a trailer before the movie, which got me more excited than the movie itself. It was a trailer for Star Trek First Contact. Ooh. And I was such a huge fan of the Borg and such a huge fan. And I actually had the little film trailer. I had a movie theater poster from it. So when I went and saw it the first time, it was on a Saturday. Everything was great. So it was like one of my first times experiencing it on open weekend. So I went back the next day and it was pouring rain. And the theater that we were in, it started leaking. So they shut the theater down. So they refunded our tickets and we ended up going to see Mars Attacks.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that's an experience. And then the other one
Wow.
is here's why I defend Batman and Robin so much is because it was the last movie I ever saw at a drive-in movie theater.
Aw.
So wait a minute. You the movie you were going to see was what?
First Contact. I was going to go see it a second time.
Okay, so
And
at least you
I
saw
ended
it one time.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
man.
it got rained out the second time. But
it
was all right because I saw Mars Attacks.
Oh, that movie's dreadful, man.
I have to change my answer, but I'm gonna wait till Enosh goes because mine. I forgot about this because I was young.
Go ahead because I got a couple. So and mine will be a little bit more together.
Okay, so my favorite movie experience is actually when I was younger. My uncle took me to the theater with his girlfriend, and we were going to go see the South Park movie, the South Park movie, uncut one, that one, and they were. Right. So they wouldn't let us in because I was underage and my uncle wasn't biologically, like he was my uncle, but he wasn't my parent. So they
Just like to tease everybody a little bit, just tickling it a little bit.
yes, tickle a little bit. So
Because
we
they
bought
get a homeless guy to do it for you,
we
right?
bought a ticket for another movie instead, and we snuck in to the South Park movie. And that was the first time I snuck into a movie, so that was pretty exciting. But then when the movie started, we were watching it, we were laughing, but then we got to that song, that very, very not for kids
Shut
song.
your Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we saw some things. The whole time, my uncle and his girlfriend were staring at me with their jaws dropped, like, why did we take her to see this? I was like 14, 15 at the time, so they were horrified at the fact that we had to sit through that movie with a minor snuck in. They're like, oh, this is why it was R-rated.
Hey, hold on. If you don't mind me asking, Saggy, just how
he froze.
old are you roughly? Because I got a question.
Is he frozen? Oh, okay, he's back. 36.
No, I'm just okay. So when I was a kid, like the first movie I ever saw in the theaters was Halloween.
Ooh.
And then I saw Halloween 2 right after that because it was a double feature. So it's weird because I see the way, people go to movies now and there's certain things that, that's like, oh, wow, maybe we shouldn't take. Man, I watched Michael Myers kill 21 people in a hospital and I was 6, I think. And then I went home the next weekend and I watched the first 2 Friday the 13th. And I mean, man, and by the time I got to the time I was 14, I couldn't be scared. I mean, I look at horror movies now and I'm like, wow, you guys suck. You're soft. Because I was watching, I had this 3D glasses in 1982. I'm in the movie with my dad, Friday the 13th, part 3 in 3D. There's a harpoon scene where Jason shoots the guy in the eyeball with the spear gun, and it's in 3D. It was great. I went back. I begged the old man, I need to see that kind of violence again.
Yes.
I saw that movie 3 times, and I even saved those 3D glasses for like 10 years after. But
oh yeah,
but yeah,
well, that was my first R-rated movie too, and that's why it was funny because I can't believe I forgot that story because I just remember the look on my uncle's face the whole movie during every scene.
You don't eat or sleep or mow the lawn. You just F your uncle all day long.
Yep.
Shut your effing face, Uncle Effer.
My uncle.
You're a boner biting.
I don't need that song stuck in my head, guy.
Blame Canada.
Too late.
Canada.
The immediate regret on that man's face was just the best thing ever. So that would be my number one best movie experience ever.
So okay. So if I'm
don't ever go to Canada after watching that movie either.
Oh my gosh. So I gotta say this. So if I'm just talking about what my favorite experience was ever, I gotta say beyond being a kid and remember going to see Superman the movie or Star Wars or whatever, this last year actually when we had all of our streaming friends come and we rented out the theater and watched The Empire Strikes Back, like that was so much fun. Come on, YouTube.
No, but that's how memories are made right there, though.
I'm telling you right now.
Oh
yeah.
man.
So of course it's got to show.
Like, come think, but there's a lot of them actually. Like we did for Aquaman.
Yeah. So yeah, so here, like we had everybody had there's Silent Scotty and Sophie back there. There's ACS, there's Tiftastic, it's me with my white lightsaber. I mean, just like we had so many people here, and it was so fantastic. There goes Ryan Zeverfed across there with a lightsaber. Like everybody had a lightsaber, and Wonder Meg was there. There's Wonder Meg. There's Dawson. My friends Aaron and Jesse were there. There's Landon. Like it was just
dude, that guy's a giant.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And look, there's Dawson right next to him. Dawson is super tall too.
Dude, there's 2 linebackers on that screen.
And I love how the lightsabers looked in here, man. We had so much fun because I mean, look at that white light. I mean, look at these sabers. They look amazing in there. But we had so much fun watching this movie. And so if I'm being realistic, this is just my favorite experience in a theater ever, because we rented out the theater and got to watch this movie. And this is something that I'd always wanted to do my entire life, was to rent out a theater and watch a Star Wars movie or something like that. And so the fact that everybody came and we filled all the spots for it, was so much fun. And that is neat. Yeah, and here's Isaac and me fighting, up and down the thing. So I gotta say that if I'm being honest, that's my favorite. But I got a couple great honorable mentions. Okay, one is going to see Scream 2. Yes. Oh, Meg was there too. Yes, she was. So Scream 2 was absolutely hilarious because the theater was so loud we could not hear. And Jada Pinkett was in that movie and had been hyped for that movie. And oh my god,
what, 2 minutes?
Oh yeah, she's only in the movie 2 minutes. And
spoiler alert, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, but oh my gosh. Okay, so let me just put it this way: most of the theater was attended by African Americans. They were there to see Jada Pinkett. Okay, that's what it was. They were all there to see Jada Pinkett. When she died, within the first 2 minutes, I literally had to go rent the movie when it first came out because I did not hear the first 20 minutes of the movie. They literally almost shut the movie down because everybody erupted. The guy behind me was yelling, "My baby, you can't kill my baby. Jada's my baby." And I was like, wow, it was so funny. The entire place just absolutely erupted. And I never thought we were going to get it back on the rails, but we did. And we ended up finishing the movie. But the absolute funniest thing that ever happened to me in a theater and making it the most memorable is when I went for the 3rd time to see the movie Titanic. And I've shared this before here on the channel, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who have not seen it.
Lose a bet?
Nope. But I saw that movie 3 times, and the 3rd time was absolutely hilarious because by that time, I knew what to expect, and most people had, because most people had been, had gone to see that movie a couple of times at least. And so we're sitting there, and maybe about 10 minutes into the movie, this guy gets up and he's walking out, and I don't know if he's walking out for concessions, to the restroom, whatever. But all of a sudden, man, he lets out the loudest, just most juiciest fart you ever heard in your life. And I mean, just explosive fart. Like as soon as he got out of the aisle and started walking back up, just loud. The entire place erupted in laughter in the middle of Titanic.
Oh,
so the guy leaves. I'm guessing he went to the restroom. He comes back. The minute that he comes back, all of a sudden people in the audience start making fart noises. So you're watching a serious moment of Titanic, and all of a sudden you hear,
never let go.
and every time somebody would make that noise, the entire place would erupt in laughter for at least 5 minutes. And it was like one of those contagious laughter kind of things. So like,
even 3-hour movie, dude.
Yeah, I know. Even the people who did not want to laugh were laughing. And so like, then it would like calm down. And then all of a sudden you're, and it was like all over again. It would start all over again. And it was like that for the entire film. man, it was just
Woo!
it was
I can
really
just see
funny.
it
And,
now.
and to this day, I can't unexperience that. It was so funny.
Every
I
time you
sat
see
through that
Bill
movie
Paxton,
once,
you get a
and I
chuckle.
couldn't do it again. And the only reason I saw that movie is because it was a James Cameron movie, and I knew if he sold out that he would get his Oscar, and he sold out. He got his Oscar. He made his love story, and he did what Ridley Scott refuses to do, which is sell out and make a soft and cute and cuddly movie. And I'm like, the best thing about that movie was the ship being destroyed and the people sliding down when they all died. When they're all, and one guy hits the pipe and he's finished, and then Jack's frozen at the end. I'm like, okay, that's great. And it's not even Leonardo DiCaprio's best movie too, and it's not even a movie. You know what Leonardo DiCaprio's best movie is? And you're gonna laugh at me, but I'm gonna Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, that was a good one.
For them to do that movie and you just get the corny concept of reciting Shakespeare word for word, but the way that movie is done and the environment that it's done in with John Leguizamo and all those guys in, that was a true talent. And to be honest with you, and then he did the movie where Martin Scorsese finally won an Academy Award for a movie he shouldn't have won for, The Departed. Yeah, and that he was decent in that, but that movie right there, Romeo and Juliet, I thought was.
I'll never let go, Jack.
Yeah.
Leonardo does not get enough credit for his acting, dude. In Django, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but one of the scenes in Django was literally him cutting open his hand. Literally, he cut open his hand during that scene, and he kept going, and they kept filming. The blood he smeared on that girl's face, that poor woman's face, was his actual blood, and he literally acted through that
What
scene.
you do
with
when
an
you're working
injured
for
hand.
Tarantino? Damn it, you bleed.
But that's what I'm saying. I love Leonardo DiCaprio, and he needs more awards for that character. Like he's an amazing actor, and he does not get nearly enough credit that he deserves. Like, come on now, this man broke open his hand, bleeding out, smeared it on that girl's face, and kept it moving. And nobody would have thought of it until you find out later. Like, yeah, that was a real thing that happened. He wasn't faking that.
I like Christoph Waltz, and he won the supporting actor Oscar for that movie. But I thought that you could have made a better argument for Leonardo DiCaprio winning Best Supporting Actor.
Okay,
For that one.
Okay, I hate the Celine Dion song from that one. Okay, because when I was doing weight training for football, that song was really, really popular. It was on like radio all the damn time.
Can't lift weights to that?
No, I couldn't lift weights to that just over and over.
Before I was old enough to date, I'd already experienced a dozen glorious romances.
And what makes it worse is the high school band, the marching band,
Oh,
played
Lord.
that song for the halftime show. And I was on the JV football team. And we practiced right next to each other. So
Oh,
it was
my
like,
goodness.
so yes, I don't like that Celine Dion song.
are safe in
My
They
heart will
played
go
the
on.
hell out of that
Sucks.
song, man.
Oh my god, it was
They
everywhere.
played that song.
Grocery stores. I'm like,
They had different versions of it. Remember, they had a cut version, and then they had a version with them talking. So you get to hear her talking to Dead Frozen Jack at the end of the song, and that's how they rolled out the song. And I'm like, I would call up. It would be a joke. I would call up the radio station back when radio stations were a thing, and we would donate. Just stop playing that song. And then they would mock people who called up by playing that song, why they were calling to complain and stop playing that song. One radio station here, I think it was 94.1. Those jackasses played that song for an hour and a half solid, no commercials. They played it and it strung. They got sponsors to sponsor them for it. Oh my God. So yeah, that song, Celine Dion.
yeah. No,
that whole movie, everything about that movie. The fact that James Cameron won his Oscar, a science fiction and fantasy director, won his Oscar for that thing was kind of, that's when I started to lose faith in the Oscars. And then it just got to the point where, in Gladiator finished it off for me when everybody but Ridley Scott won an Academy Award for that movie, so I'm done. I'm sorry.
No, I hear you.
That kind of stuff hurts me.
What's up? What's up, Steven? Good to see you, man. What's up? Yeah. So, man, yeah. So I guess for me, it's just, it's just funny. I like Titanic. It's just one of those movies that it's like, you don't just randomly go, hey, you want to watch Titanic tonight? No.
True.
Guys are watching that movie to get laid. Everybody that kept having to drag their girlfriends to that movie, those guys are like, oh my God, I cannot do this anymore. When we saw it for the first time and the girls are just bawling and they're just crying in the middle of the movie because the guy's frozen solid. And I'm looking over at these guys, they're like, they're going to score tonight.
Hey, it was a PG-13 movie with boob in it.
Yeah. Oh, hey, anybody know what the first PG-13 movie was? The first one that actually got released.
No.
Yeah. Temple of Doom.
No.
Oh.
There's two right answers.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know then. I thought it was Temple of Doom.
No. Red Dawn and Flamingo Kid. I think Red Dawn got released first. They created the PG-13, if I'm correct. And this is why. Because Red Dawn was violent as hell. Had no business being PG anything. There were people getting shot through classroom windows and heads blown off. But they did that because the Rat Pack, the most popular core of actors at that time, Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez, all of those guys their demographic would not have been able to go see in our movie without being hassled by their parents. So they created this bonehead ass rating to get the kind of stuff into a movie that they can make the money off the kids for it. And if you see the PG-13 is such BS that The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger in it is a PG-13. Less than 14 minutes into the movie, he's putting a pencil through a guy's skull. Okay, he's blowing people up.
I just watched Red Dawn for the first time last year.
Oh man!
At the dentist's office.
Well, your childhood was wanting. You just now the original Red Dawn. You just saw that now.
Yep. Well, it was on the movie list. I was, because my dentist has movies. So while you're laying there, there's a screen up above where you're sitting, and they put headphones on you. And so I'm like going through this list, and I'm like, no, I don't want to watch this. Red Dawn. I've never seen Red Dawn. I'm gonna.
You had to watch that back in the '80s too. Really, because it's a Cold War movie.
Oh, here we go. For Mohammed. Hey, what's up, Mohammed, with a $2 super chat? Thank you, sir. Yeah. So
I thought it was a Metallica shirt.
Yeah, right.
Thought it was Ride the Lightning.
That's pretty cool.
There you go.
The Neil Adams Batman too. Congratulations.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So thank you so much for that. Oh, and hey, Drav Walker with $100 Australian. Thank you so much, Drav Walker. Appreciate you, Luke. Absolutely, Luke. Says that's an awesome, memorable moment, Enosh. My nan took us to a lot of movies as kids with my cousins. Saw Masters of the Universe movie. My cousin hid under Nan because he was scared of Skeletor. On the way,
one?
Yeah, on the way there on the bus, my anxiety kicked in and I spewed all over an old lady's hair. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
That movie was great, man. Frank Langella, Dolph Lundgren.
I love that movie.
Look, there were so many great things that could have been about that movie. What wasn't great about that movie was the script. Like the script.
It was the 80s. It was the 80s. The scripts don't matter in the 80s.
I know, but it could have been so much.
The movie. Come on. Okay,
Courtney Cox, Tom Paris, can't go wrong, man. Can't go wrong.
Some of the greatest movies of the 80s would have been ruined if they had a script.
Yeah.
Would They Live have been great with a script? No.
Yeah. I mean, this is fresh off the Dancing in the Dark video,
Yeah, we didn't care. Listen, moviegoers, we did not care about, but we wanted things to blow up. We wanted boobs. We wanted things to blow up, and we wanted killing.
That's
if
the
you
80s.
gave us that stuff in the 80s, we were okay. We're looking at these movies back here now. I'm like, I sat through that. I paid. My dad paid for us to go see that, and now we're like, yeah. But you didn't start getting scripts until the 90s, man.
And I've shared this one too. This wasn't at the theater, but when I was 13, my buddy's parents took us to SeaWorld when they had one in Cleveland, and we went, and there was a little amusement park right across the lake because it was on a big lake. And
Lake on Fire?
No, it was Geauga Lake.
Oh, okay.
And so there was a little amusement park that had maybe like 4 or 5 roller coasters and just a couple of rides across there called Geauga Lake. And so it was a 2-day thing. We went to Geauga Lake first and did all that stuff, and then the next day we were going to SeaWorld. And so the first night we come back to the hotel, and of course I was like 13. So this was like right when they first started having like movies that had been in theaters, like where you could rent them in your hotel room. And these were my friend, like my friend Wayne, his parents were the first people to have a VCR in my neighborhood. And so like Wayne's house, they had all these bootleg VHS tapes, was where I watched for the first time, like Back to the Future and movies like Silver Bullet by Stephen King. And oh my gosh, what else did I watch over there? Like so many old all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, like all those classic, like classic horror movies and different stuff like that. And so they were big movie buffs. Well, apparently they didn't know what this one movie was, because we got back and they're like, hey, you guys want to rent a movie? It was going to be a special thing, right? So they were going to rent a movie in the hotel room and watch it all together. Yeah. Me and my buddy sharing a bed at 13 with his parents. They're in the room. They start a little movie known as Basic Instinct. Talk about...
man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a little awkward for all of us. And of course, I love the fact that to this day they said something that that to this day would not fly, especially in today's society, because they were also apparently not going to just turn the TV off, because they had paid like $20 for that movie. And so so they looked at us and they said, now boys, I mean, now the opening scene from that movie is boobs, sex, and murder. And it was like, oh, we're setting the tone for the rest of the evening here. Yeah. Oh, yes. Lots of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I watching here? And of course, I mean, like when they first started and, you see the boobs and stuff, me and Wayne were like, boobs, we're 13. But they looked at us and they said, now boys, we're going to be mature about this. We're going to finish this movie, but we need you to, act grown up about this. And it's like, different time, totally different time. Because that would not, I can't imagine like if my son came home and said, oh dad, we watched this movie. And I'd been like, okay. Yeah. But my son actually, he loves horror movies now. And it's really funny because when we first moved into this house 6 years ago, he was scared of the dark. Landon was terrified of the dark. He had gone from sharing a room with his brother, because they had bunk beds, to when we moved in this house, he got his own room. And he didn't want to sleep in his own room. He was terrified of being in the dark. And I would even let him have his TV on, and he was just terrified. And so I remember one night I went in here, we'd only been here for about a month. And I said, buddy, I said, you know what? The day's going to come. I said, man, when you're going to love having your own room, love having it dark. You won't even have the TV on, I bet you. And he's like, no, dad, that's never going to happen. Dad, that's never going to happen. I'm always no. And I said, you know what, buddy, it will. Well, just about a year and a half, 2 years later, he comes to us, and that was when It came out, the remake of It. And something about It like got in his mind, and he wanted to see it so bad. And the boys have been watching this show called Face Off. I don't know if you ever saw that on Sci-Fi Network, where they did all the movie makeup and all that stuff. So the boys have been watching that.
Competed in that.
Yeah, so awesome. So the boys have been watching that, and they were starting to see like how movies are not I mean, they knew that movies weren't real, but it's like when you see something as a kid, it scares you, and so it was really funny, because what started the whole thing was we went and saw Jurassic World. We saw Jurassic World, and the boys were like, that was awesome. They're like, can we watch Jaws? And I was like, yeah, you could watch Jaws. Jaws was a movie that I watched growing up, PG, whatever, just big shark. And so they watched Jaws, and they laughed their butts off at Jaws. They thought Jaws was absolutely hilarious. And I realized
the first time I saw it.
And I realized at that moment that their idea of scary was different, because like when I was a kid, the cheesy horror movies were like the old black and white, Dracula and Frankenstein, and the Mummy and stuff like that, where their scary, cheesy movies were going to be all the movies that scared me when I was a kid and didn't look real or whatever. So they laughed their butts off at Jaws. They're like, you were scared of this, Dad? I'm like, yeah, man, I didn't want to go into a swimming pool, let alone an ocean, for a long time when I was a kid. And so then after that, he saw the trailer to It, and he wanted to go see it so bad. And so then Tiffany and I went to go see It, and I really loved the movie. And so, Tiffany and I both really loved the movie. And so then Landon asked me, he said, well, can I see that movie? And I said, well, I don't know, buddy. You've had a hard time with, wanting, a light on and not wanting to be in the dark. I'm like, it's about a scary clown. And he's like, yeah, I know. He's like, but I think there's something about it that I really want to see it. And he watched that and he fell in love with it. And now he's a huge horror movie buff. He, like, if you go into his room, he's got horror movie toys and stuff. We just gave him for Easter today. Nothing says Jesus rose from the dead than like a giant 10-inch Chucky pop vinyl from Funko, with a knife and a bloody knife in its hand and stuff like that. But that's what he loves now, man. He loves horror movies. And immediately he was like, hey, Dad, can we watch the Chucky movies? And I was like, yeah, I had never actually seen any of the Chucky movies, any of the Child Play movies. And so we watched all those. And then he wanted to watch all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So we watched all those. And then he wanted, like all these different movie series like that he had never seen. And a couple that I hadn't even seen. And so now he's big into horror movies. And so that's his movie experience.
Has you watched John Carpenter's The Thing yet?
No.
Oh,
no,
dude.
we got to do that.
You got to sit him in there, and when the blood scene comes up, when we screened it at the center, and when we did it at when we set up our drive-ins, it was I always watch how people react to the blood scene. I won't spoil it for anybody, even hasn't seen the 40-year-old movie yet, but there's a certain scene in there that if you're taking someone to it for the very first time, it is cool to see their response to that particular scene.
Mm-hmm.
But that was back when movie going was different, man. Dude, movie going right now is about trends, and the way movies are marketed now is just different. Going back in the movies in the 80s, and even renting movies was different. The one thing that the internet has ruined about everything, even though I use it to my advantage, is random encounters. You only see and meet people that fall within your algorithms or within your own, likes and stuff like that. And that's good. It's a good way to meet people. But back when there was bookstores, back when there was video rental stores, back when comic book stores were a little bit different, you had random encounters of people who you would not have never met these days. So right now, I think the way technology and the way things go these days, you're taken out of, you're in a pocket to the point where you're only going to meet people, you're only going to friend people that have mutual friends or, mutual interests. And whereas if you were at the horror section in a Borders back in the day, that was all the mutuality you needed. You started talking to somebody about horror, or when you were in the sci-fi section on a Blockbuster, you started, or comic books, anything like that, or standing in the line at a movie theater. You don't have the random encounters, and that's what makes a lot of these experiences that you guys are bringing up, at least in my era, are really cool, because now, having existed in both eras, movie going is different because everything is so planned out. Everything is so analytical.
See, I make it like that though, William. I make it like that, man. If I'm at a movie theater and I'm waiting in a line, I'm talking to people, like, no matter where I'm at. Like, that's just, I mean, like, people like us who grew up like that, man, we're gonna have it's almost like we have to bring people into that experience with us, and then people are like, oh my gosh, you can do that. It's like, heck yeah, you can. Let's have some interaction. Let's talk about this stuff. I just want to say real quick, Dravwalker, dude, if you have those figures, that's amazing. Those figures, I looked at those figures and they're fantastic from the Masters of the Universe movie. Those figures are fantastic. They were, I don't know how they were there, but man, here they were a bit pricey. And all I could get them was on the aftermarket. And man, they were even pricier after that. So that's a great find, man. If you have those figures. Rare. Yeah, dude, those are so hard to find here. And I love here, Metro Obelisk Radio says, hey guys, remember when they were allowed to show blood in a PG rated movie as long as it was bad guys' blood? Nowadays Raiders of the Lost Ark would be R rated.
Yeah, well, a little bit softer these days, and a lot of it is because of people relate a lot of the horrible stuff that's happened in the last 20 years to movie making and things like that. like I said, I grew up watching people's heads fly through the screen and fingers getting cut off in the bloodiest movies. You know, I watched Scarface when I was a kid and watched a guy get hacked up in a shower. But I knew the context of it was I knew that I was not going to go out and do that kind of violence. You know, we knew what was going on. Today there is, because the old man would tell us. You know, I grew up in Los Angeles, and you obviously had a gang problem and all that. So you were told what death really was versus what death was on the movie. And our parents had no compunction about telling us about certain things.
Exactly.
We had these conversations outright. So when we saw it on the movie, we knew what the realm was. I knew I couldn't go out and beat the hell out of people like John Blankenheim did. You know, we just couldn't do it. You know, and as long as we didn't cut up like that in school, we could continue to watch those movies. Today's era, the blood and everything else, the release of movie making is not there anymore because it's so closely associated with society. You can't make a movie as a getaway right now because of the fact that it'll be offensive, because you've grown up in a soft generation to where, you know, it's kind of sad actually, because you miss out on a lot of stuff. You can't really delve into the history of horror and go watch the Gallo movies and watch Argento movies and some of the movies right now, because almost everything in those movies is offensive to a marginalized culture or not. Even though when they were making these movies, they weren't trying to offend anybody.
Saggy,
you know?
Saggy, if you're there, I got a question for you.
I have an answer.
Okay, so this comment right here by Metro Obelisk. Have you seen Basic Instinct?
I believe I did. It's been so long.
Are you aware of Basic Instinct though?
Yes.
And like what makes it Basic Instinct?
Yes.
Okay, so obviously there's the full beaver shot in the movie, right? That is the now, you know, I mean, especially back then, it was poked fun at so much. I have a question for you, because I don't know how I feel about this now. I don't know if you guys have seen, speaking of this movie, if you guys have seen the latest articles with Sharon Stone coming out about her experience doing that movie.
I haven't seen any article.
So it's really weird, because she's apparently she's angry at the producers and the director for making her do that scene, the cross leg scene, which I don't know how to feel about it, because I feel like she's talked about a lot of other stuff that was like inappropriate that went on, and if those things happened, like obviously those things were wrong, right? Like she talks about, like, she was asked by somebody in another movie to have sex with her counterpart, like the male who was in the movie, so that they could have better chemistry together. That's wrong. That's disgusting. Okay, that's disgusting, right? But I don't know how I feel about this movie, because like she made a big deal about that. She said, I guess she slapped the director of Basic Instinct when she saw that the cross leg scene was in there. I mean, like, any of us who have ever shot anything as far as like video or a short film or anything knows, like, to get that shot, you would have to set up for that shot. Right. That doesn't seem like it'd be like a random thing. It's like, ooh, whoops, we got like a full frontal crotch shot of you, and you don't know that it's in the movie. And then like the rest of the movie, she's completely naked and simulating acts in the movie. So I'm a little confused, and I don't know what to think about that. So, and I don't want to tell you how to think about it. And obviously I've just conveyed the story as, you know, paraphrasing it as I've read it.
Right.
But like, isn't there some point, like, maybe to me, I feel like there might be a little bit of regret on her part of doing it.
Right. It does sound like regret, because like you said, the cameras, what we see on film, like, you don't see behind the scenes. I've seen like how some movie sets are, like, just in indie films, but they use a lot of like good equipment, and the cameras aren't small, they're huge. It's not like the camera would have had to been low enough, and you would have seen it. So if she didn't sit there and be like, why is the camera down there, like, I could see if they literally did not tell her, but I don't think they would have not told her, because usually actresses and actors get paid more money to do nudity shots and things like that. So they do pay them a lot more to do shots. That's why, for instance, little known fact, a lot of the Game of Thrones in the beginning, you know how there was a lot of nudity and sex scenes in Game of Thrones? All those actresses were actually porn stars because they are usually more prone to be like they're comfortable being naked around the camera. So they actually hired actual adult entertainers, like, you know, strippers and porn stars to do those scenes. That's why you saw a lot of them, because they could pay them not as much as they would have to pay their actual star actors to do nude scenes. So I would say, yeah, she there's no way she didn't know that the camera in that shot was going to be included, and especially after the fact. Why? And I'm not saying this is like, but why would you wait this long to complain about that? You should have
28 years later.
right? Like you should have 100%. If you didn't want that shot in there after seeing the movie, after going through that, because that's traumatizing. If you didn't
Yeah.
know that your area was going to be part of a film, you should have been mad then and said something.
Okay. All right. So I saw some of that article.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to call the woman a liar. I have no.
Yeah, and I don't want to either. Like, I can't speak for her and I, you know, and I want anybody watching this to understand. Like, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just.
You read the script. You read the context of what this character is. Her attitude, the psychology behind the character, the mind game she played, the fact that they're telling you what your wardrobe in the scene obviously is, you know, minus a certain clothing item that would have made this all possible or impossible. So that's all in the script. And here's the thing: if she regrets it 28 years later, that's one thing. But that scene and every scene that she did would shape that character.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that that scene was her basically luring. Everything she did in that movie was as a lure or as promiscuous or to bait people or to make people feel uncomfortable about their sexuality. So that scene wasn't gratuitous. And I can't believe that they would, you know, anybody wouldn't have explained that to her when she's reading the script of this is what we're going for.
Right. Well, not only that, as a woman, and I want to make it clear, I wasn't saying like she's lying. It just seemed it does seem a little odd that you wouldn't have read the script, or like there's so much information that we would need to know to actually understand like what happened, what got lost in translation. But as a woman, I feel like Sharon Stone, she's a beautiful woman. She's iconic. That movie was was really about women empowerment. If you really want to get to the core message of the movie, it was.
She
And
manipulated everybody.
back at that time, that was kind of like look at Madonna. Madonna made her career by doing things that weren't something that women, you know, people saw on TV, on music videos. Sharon Stone was one of the first actresses who was in that role to really bring out sexuality and do it in such a way where she was in charge. She was the big baddie. She was the you know, she was a boss in that movie. So she shouldn't even be ashamed of that, because it was something that really empowered women. If she really wants to look at it this way, like, yeah, it might have been something unflattering. Maybe she regrets it now, but it's like she was beautiful. She's still beautiful. She should embrace that and be and really feel like let her know that she's inspired women to be powerful with that role.
Nudity in movies back in from like maybe 75 to 95 is viewed differently than it is now.
Right.
Now it's like you if it's being done to tell a story, then that's part of it. Obviously, back in the early 80s, you had gratuitous nudity. If you signed up for Friday the 13th, you knew that was going to be that one girl for some reason. As soon as they got to Camp Crystal Lake, was going to go skinny dipping in front of a bunch of people she just met on a camp trip. You know, that's different. And then there's like 50 Shades of Grey or things like that, to where it's worked into the context of the story. Where my problem is when they hold back. Not that I want to see porn all the time, but if you're doing a story that involves common sense or reality says that it would be this hardcore, like doing a rape scene. A lot of people complain about, rape scenes, that's a horrible rape scene to do. But if you're telling a story about a rapist or a rape victim, sometimes, like in The Accused, would be one of the best Jodie Foster scene in The Accused. It was an uncomfortable scene to watch, but it put the context of her character and the force behind what had happened to her, and you felt what she was going through. So it can be used in a way. People just don't know how to use it these days without either not using it at all, or and screwing up a movie, or they overdo it. You know, you have to be able to be able to. It has to be part of the storytelling.
Right. And here's another fun fact: she came back for the sequel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a part 2, and if it was really something after the first one, you would think she just wouldn't come back. But why did she? You know, that's why I said there's a lot of information that we don't know that went on behind the scenes. I would like to know, because if they put that scene in there without her consent, without her knowledge, that is messed up, and they should be held accountable for. But again, it does seem to raise questions, because again, she returned for the sequel. There was a Basic Instinct 2. She was in it. Why would you go back to film if that happened? And there was plenty of time when the first one came out for you to be like, I didn't want that. So why would you come back for a sequel?
I'm going to come back to this super chat in just a second, but this is on topic. Metropolis also says, Basic Instinct was an erotic thriller, in my opinion. First of all, let me just say, like, Basic Instinct, as far as a movie, like, even if you're not somebody if you're somebody who's against nudity or any of those, like, the story of Basic Instinct is actually a really good story. Like, it's a really good thriller. I mean, like, but it shows you a lot of stuff, and I think that's to this point. It's like that scene, that crotch scene, was the least offensive scene probably in that movie. They showed stuff that, like, as a 13-year-old kid, I didn't understand in that movie. I was like, why are they doing that?
Well, when they bought in the black light, and he got off before he got off.
Yeah, I was like,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in that movie, and some of the scenes, between her and Michael Douglas, and between her and a couple of other women in, that was like, back then, you're talking like 89, 90 when that came out. I mean, like, that was not
it was not what you saw in headline movies.
Exactly.
You saw it all through the 80s in movies that were not the top of the bill movies with guys like Michael Douglas and all that. You saw them with lesser known actors. You saw full Bush throughout the 80s, like it was.
Oh yeah.
You could throw a rock and you were going to hit a movie that had it in it. Woman in Red with Gene Wilder. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. But when you start getting into the headlining movies with guys, Academy Award level type people start doing it, it seems to be viewed differently than it was viewed prior to that. And Sharon Stone was at that time an Academy Award level actor. She was nominated, and Michael Douglas had already won one. So you're talking about bringing something that had been used in movies prior to that as a salacious tool, and now using it as part of the tell story. And people didn't know what to do with themselves, with that movie, because it was different. And it was the first time where a woman did show that, and then it was under her control.
Draft Walker, I love the fact that you just brought up National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, because that was hilarious. Yes, they have the gratuitous beaver shot in Loaded Weapon 1, where just all of a sudden a beaver just pops up out of nowhere and starts dancing around. So, like, you got to have the gratuitous beaver shot. Yeah, I don't know. It like I said, I didn't want to just like bring the whole thing down, but it was just like, that was such a weird thing that I had just recently seen, and it just kind of caught me off guard, because, like I said, knowing how movies are made and scripts and everything, I don't know, man. I see somebody said that who was it called her out on it. I don't know. It's just I don't know. But
go ahead. Go ahead, and then I'll just
well, no, finish it up, and then we'll
okay. Well, I was also gonna add, like, another thing. I'm like, because I just skimmed through the article in my head, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, why weren't you wearing panties then? Like, I did.
If you didn't know, and like you said, like, you would have to point the camera. You'd have to set it up. Right. Everybody would have to know what's going on. The actors or the actors who are in the room would have to react, because she's being interrogated, and she crosses her legs. She just I don't know. And I'm not saying this as like she's lying. I'm saying I'm confused then. Like, what did she think she was doing then?
Right. If feels differently about it now than she did in 1991.
Right. And this is the thing. If anyone says something about, oh, well, maybe she didn't wear underwear because she was wearing a very tight skinned, like, very tight dress, it's like, But that's why thongs were invented, and thongs were around those times. They were actually really popular when we were thongs, so if they didn't have the panty line in tight-fitting clothes. So again, why wasn't she wearing underwear during that scene? It just did nothing made nothing's making sense here.
And it
Like,
wasn't a blatant scene. It was like a quarter. You had to had the little slow motion. I mean, you weren't really, it wasn't like something that was like blatantly out there. You knew she wasn't wearing underwear, and you knew what the context of the scene was. She was baiting the interrogators and basically making them feel all nervous and uncomfortable. And the scene with their looking beyond the glass is more intriguing than anything else, because these are seasoned veteran cops that are being taken totally out of their game by her sexuality. That's what the movie was really about. And it's like, but now after Me Too and all this, and you're viewing something in hindsight now that you didn't use it, and that's all. That's what it really is. She's not lying. She just feels differently about it in 2021 than she did back in 1992. So
yeah, it's just. I'm sorry. It's like a weird conversation to have. I know, but yeah, it sprung from that, and this is like, I don't know. I can't speak for her. Sharon, if you're watching this one day by chance,
wow. That would be great. She popped in on her own square.
Come on into the Poindexter Lounge, and we'll have a discussion. Because only you can tell your story, I guess. You know what I mean? Like only you can do that. So somebody says Zack Snyder would have made that scene epic.
No.
Stephen Morton with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Stephen. Sorry it took so long to get to your super chat, man. We were having this conversation. No, Steven, don't worry about it, man. He says, no, man, your comment does not sound stupid. It was just an interesting discussion, a side conversation. That happens sometimes in the Poindexter Lounge, as we get to talking about something, and that's because we nerd out on stuff, and that's what this place is. It's just a place to talk about stuff. And so, especially when we get to the end of our episodes, where like we've talked about our topics and new things come up, and so
I got to get into the beginning of one of these. I miss all the crazy
there
stuff.
You go. Steve Morton says $4.99 with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Says Enosh, you were at the Walmart premiere for Man of Steel. Yes, I was. I cried in those first 20 minutes. The opening DNA soundtrack killed me. I tell you what, I am so glad that I got to see that at that Walmart premiere. Man of Steel is a movie that, to me, it continues to just keep giving to me and giving to me and giving to me, and it's so rewarding for me. And that's why anytime I hear somebody crap on that movie, it literally makes me not trust people's opinions about movies, because honestly, to me, it's such a great film. And I don't say that, like, if you don't like Man of Steel, I'm not saying that you have horrible taste in movies. I'm just saying, like, it gives me pause, because I love that film so much that I can't imagine not appreciating that film. So Steven, I totally feel you on that, man, for sure. So it looks like we're gonna I love you too, man. Love you too. Glad to have you here. Yes, Man of Steel is pure gold. I think it looks like we're gonna end the night the way we began the night. Ken Kitts, did he drop a scoop? Did he? Okay. What's his channel this week? Just asking, because I don't know, because if you look up his name, you're not going to find him. So.
Oh, you mean Midnight's Edge dropped something?
Is that? That's not Midnight's Edge. Is it
that neurotic one?
No. This guy has mentioned me in a couple of his videos, but it's kind of weird, because first he lumped me in with like a bunch of people he didn't like, and then like he showed part of my video once where he said that
he destroyed Star Trek. If I'm talking about the same guy,
totally like this guy. I've never seen him talk about anything except for DC. To be honest with you, I think he doesn't seem to like anything.
I think he ripped up Discovery, if I'm correct. I got to look him up, but I think he tore up Discovery, which was one of my favorite Star Treks.
He's had many different channels, because apparently he keeps.
Is it that easy? Is it that easy?
Oh, look, it is now. So he's now under his own name. It's this guy. Yeah. Yeah, he is under his own name now. He doesn't seem to like anybody. He seems to think that he knows more than everybody. I've never seen anything really.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know this guy.
There's a lot of YouTubers that are like that, and I'm like,
I'm confused. Who are we talking about? The person on the screen, the person they talking about? I'm very
the name, and here's the funny thing. Like, I don't even know that Ken Kitts is real, because he talks about Ken Kitts in a couple of his videos. I haven't even looked at Andre's stuff in probably a good 8 months, and you know why? Because Ken Kitts was in here talking about Andre, and when I went there, all of a sudden Andre was talking about Ken Kitts and how Ken Kitts is right on the money. And I was
he's
like,
plugging this guy's site right on your stream. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think he's like plugging his own site in doing this whole thing. So I don't know.
Marketing 101.
Who is this Ken Kitts? Is it a fandom message? No, they're about DC, but it's weird. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't, you guys know, I don't say, I try not to say negative things about people unless I know them, but I'll be honest with you, Andre's videos get on my last nerve. And if you look them up, you'll probably figure out why. It'll give you a headache because he hates everybody. He literally hates everybody. He hates everyone. And he thinks that he knows everything about DC. And I don't know.
That's the worst.
Ken, I think Andre could probably succeed on his own. You don't need to play at the beginning of the show. This Ken Kitts guy like dropped in here with something, and you notice like Ken hasn't said another word since. So there you go. I don't know. More positive things. Dravwalker with a $50 Australian super chat. Thank you so much, Dravwalker. Thank you, Luke. Says back to Leonardo DiCaprio at Saggy Melons. I love The Wolf of Wall Street. Fellow Aussie Margot Robbie was in it and did nudity, but the scene where she says no more panties and Coke blocks, Leo, but she's holding a cover over her nudie part. There's a scene though where she's not. Yeah, in the one scene she's not.
She's all there.
Yeah, she's all there. Yep.
Yeah. Once again,
we're all just gonna think about that one for a minute, because somewhere upstairs Tiffany just woke up and is even thinking about Harley Quinn there. So there you go.
She heard Margot Robbie. She said,
Margot Robbie? Yeah. Yes. So there you go. The Wolf of Wall Street is a really good movie. It's a really good movie.
I read a little bit through that Sharon Stone article, though. I definitely want to read up on that and figure out what's happening, because there's some things in there I'm like, I can see that being a thing, but then the whole the beaver shot was a little like,
Hold on, wait, you could see it being a thing? Does that mean you want to
have a beaver trap next door?
Do you want to see that thing?
Like it's a massive thing, and so I want to see his thing.
That face will always get me.
Poor ACS.
Like, whoa, what?
That thing. What?
Saw it live. Hey, Steven with another $2.99 super chat says, Michigan, let's go. Michigan, heck yeah, baby. Michigan all the way. Well, guys, it's been a fun night. It's been an interesting night. We've talked about a lot of stuff, and I'm glad that you were all here. This is Saggy is speechless, just thinking about Margot Robbie. But hey, it's been a fun night. It's been a fun night. Thank you to everyone who's joined me tonight, and everyone who has been a part of the broadcast. And I thank you, Saggy, for coming in and being here the whole time. We did like the whole first hour and like just you and me. And so somebody who came at the beginning goes, oh, it's just going to be Enosh and Saggy. If they left, that's on them. Because
please dump that avatar, please. I will pay. That is spooky.
Which one?
What?
Her Jarbo avatar. His is scary enough on its own. I'm looking at her voice coming from
William.
That and it's just
don't censor my artwork. It's beautiful. Matt Jarbo's a beautiful woman. He's gorgeous. I just wanted to highlight his beauty.
Matt
You know,
Jarbo's
he's
a
absolutely
beautiful woman.
Right. He's a beautiful woman. I'm just trying to highlight how Matt Jarbo can be beautiful. He's my spirit animal.
Got a shotgun this bonus over here. Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That was a well-timed one right there.
Yeah, my spirit
Oh.
animal is Matt Jarbo. For anyone who wants to know, my zodiac sign is Matt Jarbo. My Chinese New Year animal is Matt Jarbo.
And
So
your therapy needs to be called Matt Jarbo.
yes, my therapy sessions are called Matt Jarbos.
You do you, boo, right?
Freaking love, right?
I'm getting on at the beginning of these next time. I will do. I got the link because I come in at the back end, and then we got plungers and strippers, and I'm like, that's okay. I mean, I'm in Vegas, but I'm like,
William,
one of these days I'm going to get on before it goes down the downward spiral. I'm going to get on there when we're because we ended up on full push conversations.
You have inspired me, William, to make more beautiful Matt Jarbos. They are coming soon. You're gonna get you're gonna see Matt Jarbo on a lot of women you're gonna never look at again.
Okay.
Please don't ruin women for us.
Yeah, that
Please don't ruin women.
Put her on Captain Marvel. It'll be great.
One day.
We'll put we'll put Matt Jarbo on Captain Marvel. Maybe it'll be an improvement. No? Too soon? Not soon enough?
Come back. That's Thursday's show where we talk about Brie Larson all the time, right, Brian?
Yeah.
50 Shades of Jarbo coming soon to the Poindexter Lounge.
Jarbo Larson.
Yeah, it's happening. I'm gonna ruin all of your superheroes with Matt Jarbo.
50 Shades of Jarbo. Wow.
All of them.
Wow.
All
right, folks.
Matt Fleck, not Bat Fleck. Matt Fleck.
Saggy, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
You can find me at mattjarbodeepfakes.com. No, I'm just kidding. Saggy Melons with the Z, everywhere. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram with the _. Yeah, I'm all over the place. And I'm always here at the Poindexter Lounge with my beautiful Matt Jarbos.
There you go. There you go. Brian, you want to tell everybody where they can find you, sir?
Yes, you can find me at Brian Master of None on YouTube tomorrow at 11 o'clock 11 a.m. Pacific. I'll be watching Star Trek First Contact because it's April 5th. And
First Contact Day. Woo!
First Contact Day. So happy First Contact Day, everybody. Actually, it is April 5th now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So anyways, much love to everybody. Thanks for coming. And
that's the day.
Sorry I missed the first part of it.
That's all right. And this guy right here, you all love him, and he may not have a YouTube channel. He probably should, but you know what? It's okay because you can find him at the Sci-Fi Center.
Just Google the Sci-Fi Center. I'm the first thing that comes up.
Check it out right here.
Oh Lord.
There it is. There he is. There's his website right here. You can find him on social media and all this good stuff.
There's my oven mitt. There's my Infinity. That's me at the Infinity Gauntlet premiere. We did a promo for that, and I needed something to wear that would look utterly ridiculous, and I achieved my mission that day. That is an oven mitt that I sold 6 hours after I wore that. So yeah,
but there you go, guys. Go buy some comics and fun stuff from William there.
Don't talk wrestling if you have something to do that day. That's my warning.
And of course, you can find us all on our on social media. All those links are in the description below. Thank you to everyone who's in the chat tonight. Thank you to everybody who's on the panel. Thank you to everyone who gave a super chat tonight. You are absolutely fabulous and wonderful. And tomorrow night when we stream, we'll give away, because I haven't announced this yet, and I don't have it in front of me right now.
Start that stream at midnight so I can get on.
I started this one at midnight.
Oh, my time.
Oh, midnight. I'm not going to start at 3 a.m.
Earth time, you know. Yeah.
I'm going to start at 3 a.m., man. I would have just, oh my gosh. Holy cow. That's 3 a.m. for me. So we're giving these two away tomorrow, these Green Arrow hats here to people. All you got to do to be in for one of our giveaways is be either a Patreon supporter, a member of the channel, which you can find all those links down there, or give a super chat at any time. And if you give a super chat at any time, you're also in the running for that. Well, guys, we've done it again. We've had fun. We've laughed. We've cried. I think Brian, it's time to go get some lunch.
Yeah.
I think dinner. Yeah. But you know, I think they serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the Trench.
True.
So we will we'll go ahead and do that and get some dinner, and we will see you next time. But don't forget, don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter. But just remember to treat everybody with respect. Don't tell anybody that their fandom doesn't matter. But treat people well, and as long as you do that, there will always be a place for you here in the Poindexter Lounge. I will answer this one last question. Song Park. No, I have not. A hot take from Enosh. I didn't like the first one. And I really have. I don't know if I'm going to watch this one. I know it's a hot take. There's people that I know that their entire childhood is Space Jam, and I feel like I just crushed someone. It was just not a movie that I watched probably the first 15 minutes of when I was a kid, and that was it. And so it was never like really a thing for me. And so, yeah. Sorry. I'm really sorry. I feel bad. I feel bad now. I feel bad. Like I've let you down, and I don't mean to do
feel
that.
Bad. I didn't, when that movie came out, I was over cartoons. So like, I didn't watch that movie either.
I was a grown ass man when that movie came out. So I was like, yeah.
When did that movie come out? That movie came out actually
96.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, holy cow, then I was 20. So never mind. I don't feel as bad.
No, you shouldn't.
I was
honestly.
22.
Gosh, what movie am I thinking? Yeah, no, I mean, because I remember watching just the first like 15 minutes of Space Jam, and it was just not my thing, and so I never revisited it. So,
and that was a decade where I had Jordan stuff down my throat the whole decade. So I really was tired of him by then.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I'll probably watch the trailer, but it didn't mean to rub your rhubarb the wrong way.
Never rub another man's rhubarb.
All right, guys, we're gonna leave you with the lunch trench. Until next time, stay nerdy.
All over town, people are talking about the lunch trench. It's the ditch where you can eat your food.